the squash like we don't see no other players. Ain't nothing to squash, ain't nothing to solve. You played and you already did. I'm ready to mob, I'm ready to mosh, and move it with nobody scared. Keep pushing my buttons, I might push a button and have my butt push up and slam. Made a decision to enter the lair, you better enter prepared. I seen it vividly, my vision of victory. I kill him and split the scene, click with me, you never feel defeat. Learn how to heal from heat. I showed up to show out until the show ends. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gonna be a blowout. Once I get the blow in, I just put it blow in. Show me some money.
It starts right here.
Push up and step on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here.
Ain't no regrets, it's on me.
And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. If you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
I'm too hyped to turn down a fight. Knock on my good night. I brought light when there was no sight. None of four in sight. I got stripes down to take a life. Won't take it in stride. Ain't no might ifs or maybes. I display my might. Yeah, I come to rig at the game. It's fun, but it ain't no games. I shun them all in a minute. I got them and bit them up like it was state. I showed up to show out until the show ends. Bet they wanna know how I made it a no-win. It's gonna be a blowout. Once I get the blow in, I just put it blow in. Show me some money.
It starts right here.
Push up and step on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here.
Ain't no regrets, it's on me.
And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. If you wanna be a god, it's a long way up.
Push up and step on enemies. I came to conquer all the energy. Ain't no regrets, it's him or me. Blast them away, away. Once we engage in combat, it ain't really no comeback. From that, the squad, the angelic slum rats. Came for the cash, where the funds at. Came with the swag of a war pack. You see the sword, it's my award. I tried to warn you and your pack, so if I started you, it's your bad.
It starts right here.
Push up and step on enemies.
And it's a long road up ahead. Better get your steps in now. It starts right here. And if you wanna be a god, it's a long way up. It's a long way up.
Wish I could not keep going, but I'm rising above it. Now you're crushing and burning. God knows you didn't earn it. My friend Karma's a bitch. She's got some lessons you learned. You're a snake, I can see it in your face. No, the crime you committed, I forget, not forgive it. Don't you dare get it twisted, I'm nice, but I can get wicked.
Welcome everybody to the end of week 1 for Astral. Today we have 4 more games, the second bracket to finish out week 1. I'm Sizzle, joined here by Mike, and we're excited to bring you some exciting League of Legends action. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Doing good, man. I hope you're doing well. Just like you said, I am truly excited for these games tonight. Get a chance to see our competitors at the other side of the bracket, potential playoff matchups, even though
Yeah,
it's just
there's
week one.
some familiar faces here, but we also do have some newcomers. I recognize DG, definitely a playoff team from last year.
hmm
But we have Pub Subs, Iceborne. There's some new guys here, so it's gonna be some exciting stuff. But today, you want to introduce our matchup for tonight?
So for tonight's game, we have Astral Affliction, one of my sister teams, and Want Lose. So, two new names, unless Want Lose was a name change from last year. I'm not familiar with any of them. Okay, yeah, everyone is new then. Some familiar faces, Astral Affliction having Julius, who was on AOC last year. Plus, we scrimmed them the other day. So, new faces and one familiar one. I'm excited to see how they play for sure.
And I'm excited for this draft. Looking at these OP.GGs, we have some great numbers. Um, Evil Cheese has some great numbers here. He's got 60+% win rate on 4 of his top 5 champions. I mean, that's impressive. This guy is going to do some work. Looks like he's the team's top laner. So these solo lane matchups could be pretty big here today. Anything pointing out to you off of these papers?
Yeah, top lane matchup for me, I'm excited because it looks like on the other side, the only rank games I'm seeing on the top laner for for the other team is Mundo, and it's just a bunch of Mundo. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see a ban coming out. Mundo being a super tank, doing a lot of damage at the same time, doing nothing if he gets behind. So I'm wondering if they're gonna let it through. But yeah, impressive stats. 10 games, 80% win rate on this Mundo with a 3.5 KD. Like that's nothing to laugh at for sure.
It's definitely nothing to be ashamed of. But definitely those people who do one trick something. I've seen it before in the past. Last year, guys will pick one champion to spam just before a match, just kind of wash out that match history. Say, oh, there's this one thing I can play. You're gonna ban it or let me have it. It can work both ways. Do a lot of work there. But in the bot lane, we have some cool stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot of fun. One of these supports, Thresh, Rakan, pretty engaged supports make a lot happen. So we could be seeing some interesting fights in the bot lane, especially when they're paired with stuff like Aphelios, Jenks, these really strong champions that want to get ahead early so they can snowball really well into the late game.
Yeah, it's kind of one side of the, lane and then the other here with Julius playing more of the engage, like you said, Rakan and Thresh, and the other side we're seeing all Enchantresses coming out for the support. I can't pronounce it. How do you think you pronounce that?
Aileros would be my
Aileros?
guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's the best guess we got, but it looks like he likes Lulu and Zyra, and I'm wondering what they're gonna do if they do play that Zyra. I've seen some nasty Zyras in my solo queue games, so
I mean, Zyra's one of those one of those supports, with the same brand as Xerath or Brand, who, they say they're a support, but they're doing more than damage than
yeah.
their AD key, more than likely. So, definitely a lot to be watching down there. Especially with their ADC, who looks to pair it often. Looks the Ezreals, the Jins, safer, more comfortable, laid back laners, I would say, who aren't looking for these constant, engages. They kind of want to farm, get to that mid game, and do all their damage in these team fight scenarios. But like I said, there's a lot here. I see some Zeri in the match histories here, so maybe she comes out. I don't think she was played last week, or I guess first half of the week, but
I don't
it'd
think so either.
be cool to see her come out. I've seen a lot of work from her in solo queue games and scrims. She's very fun. I mean, I haven't played her, but she looks very fun. Just jumping over walls, shooting stuff. Uh, I'm still not entirely sure how the auto attack queue thing goes, but I don't really care to learn. It's not my lane. I'll probably never play her. So, but there's a lot here, and we're only about 30 seconds away from draft. So, what would you like to see from these teams? Do you think that we're going to see some of these, late game scaling comps, these early games? I mean, last week I know you had a game that lasted 30 plus minutes, but we did have
hmm
2 games finished before 25. So do you think teams are going to look for that late game assurance, or they're going to go for those, faster ends?
Looking at the people for Astral Affliction, I think they're going to be playing a lot of late game comps. Some of these carries that I'm seeing from them are good scaling champions. Same for the side of Want Lose. So I think we're going to see a long one here tonight, unless there's an absolute just snowball coming out. I want to see, both of us being junglers. I want to see a good jungle matchup today. We might be seeing some of that new Gwen jungle that's been around. But I'm wondering how I'm getting into the jungler for AA is going to be playing that today because Lee Sin, Viego, Graves. I think we're going to be seeing him going crazy here as we see we're getting into bans. Yumi being the first ban.
I mean, just one of those classic, just smart bands. She's never bad. they can nerf her to the ground, but she's a glorified item. You sit on someone who's carrying, and you do a lot of healing, a lot of protection, and just make them impossible. You see those classics like Master Yi gets a Yumi and just 1v5s your team. So a good thing to take out. You never want to allow that through, especially for a team that likes to play, for those stronger bot lane carries. We see Thresh coming out, classically good ban. Definitely is one of the favorites for Julius, and pretty
Yeah,
good champion and all.
and Lulu. I'm wondering if we're just gonna see. Okay, I was gonna say I wonder if we're gonna see 6 support bans, but we see the Viego being banned out from the Simon Inted. I like the Viego ban. I feel like that character is still insanely strong, just like Silas when he came out, and I think anyone that plays him well, uh, don't let that person play this character. It's so strong.
Viego is definitely one of those champions that can just take over a game. Those resets in the middle of fights can be very problematic. And we'll see Jin. So a lot of bot lane focus, right? He has 4 bans to the bot lane, 3 off the side of Astral Affliction. So with them pinching the pool so early in the bot lane, do you think eSports wants to or want lose? Sorry, read their logo, but do you think that they're going to pick a bot lane early with all the pinching, or are they just going to let it go and see what happens?
Well, it looks like the answer is Ornn. I think they're just targeting the bot lane bans because, I mean, I know rank doesn't matter, as we saw from a lot of the games last week, but their 2 lowest ranked players are their bot lane for Astral Affliction. So I'm wondering if maybe they're targeting those bans just to, play it safe, just saying, like, if we can get these guys in a good spot to where they're not going up against a bunch of mains, that they'll have a better chance to make it through lane.
I mean, that's definitely smart. I also saw the Shen third ban there off the side of a wanted lose. I mean, see the Mundo does get picked up for him. It's all he's been playing, and that is what he's going to pick. I mean, it's good into Ornn. It's kind of just 2 beefy dudes up there that both actually do more than enough damage themselves. I mean, Ornn obviously with the brittle procs can really chunk through health bars, and Mundo's cleavers obviously with the percent health damage do hurt. So it could be a fun top lane there with them just trading back and forth. As we'll see, the Ezreal hovered and ideally locked in. Looks like Ezreal is one of his favorite ADCs. It will be locked in. Yep.
Yeah, and it looks like Mundo does win that matchup here. So him, first picking into this guy who's going to be playing his main, really good. I think so far draft for one lose. Ezreal being a safe pick. Aphelios, not surprised. Uh, very has played a lot of Aphelios when he has been playing games recently, and I'm wondering if they're gonna lock it off here with a support.
That would make sense. Aphelios is obviously one of those strong scaling ADCs that can take over a game, and getting a Karma with him, that's good. The strong lane poking with her Q, the shielding, the root. She does a lot of utility to help set this Aphelios up for success, especially into someone like Ezreal who doesn't have the best DPS. Obviously he does hurt, but it's more that skill shot, like almost more like a mage than a traditional ADC. So this gonna be an interesting bot lane, and we'll see. I would imagine we see a support pick here. No, they're gonna go with the Diana, which
Diana.
that's interesting,
Hmm.
especially with all the bans that have been thrown bot lane anyway. Pretty easy to block top laners and bot laners in first rotation and just go after mid jungle second half. But they got different plans for us. So the Diana, good pick. I mean, she's strong right now for sure still, um, and just offers a lot to her team. Good source of engage.
Maybe we're gonna see a Mundo coming out here, or not a Mundo, Yasuo coming out with this Diana. Maybe they're trying to go for that Wombo combo for a little bit of mid and late game team fighting here to let that Ezreal get scaled up, just in case he does fall behind. Same for the Mundo. That combo can just, we've seen it in multiple games. He can just win games by itself, 2v9. So
I mean, Yasuo with any kind of helpful knockups, Alistar, Malphite can do a lot of work. The Diana, no exception there. As you see, Lux and Vex are picked up as bans here. Solid bands, both. I mean, Vex obviously very strong still. The ults, the way to just go in and do some serious damage, and Lux, of course, her pick potential is huge. Uh, and with squishy guys like Ezreal, Diana, you definitely don't want to put yourself at risk for those QER deletions that Lux is known for.
yeah, banning Lee Sin, that's his most played character recently on his OPGG, makes a lot of sense. Lee Sin is a very strong character, can get the ball rolling early for this Aphelios lane and the Ornn as well. So I do like that ban. It looks like a Nami ban. So they have 5 bot lane bans if you consider Lux being the support here. Not what I expected going into it, but I like it though for sure.
I mean, it's definitely respectful. You always want to, I think the best way to play it, especially at this point, a lot of players, have those deeper champion pools. It's hard to just throw 1 or 2 bans at someone and take them out of the game. So throwing 4, 5, 6 bans at someone can be effective. You just like, all right, bot lane, that's where we're going to pinch them, and that's where we're going to play to win. I mean, obviously taking all these bot lane picks away and taking something strong with the Aphelios really speaks to a a plan of, hey, let's get our ADC ahead, let's win through him. And then the Yone pickup, very strong laner. Definitely a little low on the magic damage side, so you need to see an AP jungler here more than likely. Maybe something like the Sejuani be a great pick. She
Gwen.
does
Oh, Gwen
Olaf.
maybe. New Gwen.
Gwen
Gwen
would be good,
jungle.
but it looks like they hit, keep switching around on that Sejuani. I like the Sedge pick. They definitely could use a little more frontline, a little way to pick some stuff up. See, they're just teasing us now, just sitting here, not locking something.
Yeah, the
Amumu is
CC would be good
available.
as well to combo with the Ornn Lilia. Okay, AP jungler they need. I'm not sure if I like it into Ezreal. I'm not sure. Or Victor. Like, you're going to have to take a lot of damage getting up on top of him. Mundo with his passive. Lilia, she can't block. She can't even get rid of it unless she ults. And then Diana being a better. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that the Lilia fits. I like the idea. I mean, she does do a good bit of damage, and Want Lose is a little squishy. Diana, Ezreal, Victor, and Janna, not tanks, of course.
Yeah.
So Lilia, if she can get a good multi-man ult off, getting that backline, safely, she can do a lot and carry these team fights. Especially with Yeon and Ornn, they can help her engage, so she's not going in by herself. But the Janna, a nice pick. This is a very safe just all around. I mean, Victor, Ezreal, Jenna, there's not a lot of kill pressure with those three. They kind of just want to clear the waves, stay back, stay safe, and scale up. So want lose definitely going for that, later game kind of vibe, not that early game strategy that we were considering going in.
Yeah, and looking at team comps, I definitely think Astral Affliction is better. They have a lot of engage, and if you're looking at the side of Want Lose, the only engage they really have is a Diana. I mean, Mundo can press R and run at you, but how good is that going to be? And I mean, Diana has to hit a skill shot to be able to get the reset on that E to get onto probably, the Aphelios who's going to be behind his team or the Karma. But you have Karma ultimate, Ornn ult, Yone just pressing E and going crazy, and then Lilia hitting any sort of, ability and then pressing R. Like, I think it's going to be hard for Want Lose to win this game unless they can get their, like, Ezreal and Victor ahead to where the poke part of this comp can work. But I don't know, man.
I don't know. I would say I don't mind it if they're not with the intention of like this is not a very good. This is a decent siege cop. I mean, Victor Ezreal can keep you shoved under your towers and poke you down, and then eventually you'll need to press the engage button. Ornn or Yone's gonna have to pull the trigger and start a fight. And the disengage is good. I mean, you have Janna to walk back with. She ults, gives you some space, or uses her Q. You guys can kind of kite back. Muna the same way. You're gonna run at him. He'll throw cleavers. So I don't hate want lose to pick or their draft rather. It's a very team centric comp. No one is going to do this by themselves. The whole team kind of has to work together, get these like group up 5v5 situations where they can, play to their comp strengths of sieging, poking, and then counter engaging.
Yeah, out of this entire draft, who do you think won, and then who do you think, or let's say, who do you think won first?
Mm, I would say, I think Astral Fiction just has a more standard comp and their scaling is good. I mean, obviously Victor scales super hard, but so does Yone and Aphelios. And then with the Ornn Masterwork items, there's just even better scaling for that whole team. And I think they just have a lower floor of what their comp wants to do. It's a pretty basic, hey, Yone or Ornn's going to press R and start a fight, and the rest of us are going to bring our damage in afterwards. And if they can get the right engages, it's going to be pretty set up. If you get that Victor, the Ezreal caught out and engaged on first, they're going to die pretty quickly. So I think Astral Fictions has the easier comp, and they're matching the scaling that Want Lose picked just as well. So I think they have a slightly smaller margin for error, or larger margin for error.
Yeah, I have to agree with you as well here. If I could change one thing about this draft, and then I can get your opinion on it first, I think that I would have loved to see Want Lose pick something else other than Janna. I mean, the disengage on her ult is nice, but on both sides of the OPGGs, we saw Rakan. And maybe Rakan's a little bit harder to get in on this comp because if you miss your W, you're just getting murdered by a Yone and an Aphelios. But like I was saying earlier, I think just having that second form of engage, even if it was like Leona or Braum or something tanky, because I think you need more than just a Mundo here to be able to tank out. Because like we said, if he gets behind in this lane, um, I mean, I don't think he provides much in general as a champion
Yeah, I
unless he's
mean,
ahead. So
Ezreal needs his handheld in lane pretty hard. He's just not. He can't clear the waves super well. He doesn't do a ton of consistent damage. I think something like a Zyra would have worked pretty well too. Give him a little extra damage, just a
with
little
the
threat.
Zyra, yeah.
Yeah, a little threat in the lane. Make 'cause Ezreal and Janna, if you look at that, that's not intimidating. You're not walking in thinking, "Oh no, I need to be very careful. They're gonna kill me at level 2," you know? They're not threatening. So I think, something like that, maybe even a Senna could have worked well. I do see it played. Could have worked out. Um, I definitely think a different support would have helped, but I also think the jungle from Astral Affliction just 'cause it doesn't kinda mesh with their comp well. I like the Sejuani hover, obviously something like the Amumu, a little biased there, but
Yeah,
something like
Udyr
that.
maybe, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Udyr, something a little
Yeah.
more proactive and a little less, glass cannony. Like, even like a Volibear would have worked pretty good, I think, 'cause you still have that good engage potential, but you're a little safe. You have that E shield, you have the healing that you can provide for yourself. Um, so I think both teams, I wouldn't give either of them an A plus in the draft, but definitely Astral Affliction, I give them a B plus. I like their comp. Want lose, I'll go C. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah, and I mean, this is always one of those, hey, let's prove us wrong here, and let's see this Janna Ezreal lane pop off. Let's see the Lilia, go crazy and just absolutely gap this Diana. But I mean, we'll have to see for sure. I mean, this guy's been spamming a lot of Mundo, so I think he has something to prove. I don't think he's just gonna, get clapped by an Ornn in lane
Yeah, I
on
mean,
his main character. But you know,
I wouldn't vote on top lane being too impactful here. Not say like in lane. I don't think their lane's going to be too crazy. Both of them are tanky and do enough damage. I think they respect each other and don't try anything crazy. They're kind of be sitting there farming up, wait for maybe the jungle to come up. But I mean, Lilia Ornn, they have one good way to proc Mundo Shield, and that's like the Ornn knockup or maybe the Brittle hit because it is a displacement, I think. But that's gonna be hard to get into and execute, and then still chase down with the Mundo cleavers that would slow you. Uh, same way Diana Mundo, it's gonna be hard for them to get on Ornn. He has a dash. He has the immunity to CC. He's just. I think this top lane is gonna be kind of one of those wait till later, group up with your team, and then that's where the magic happens. I think honestly, mid lane is gonna be the big part. Yon and Victor both scale well, both very strong picks. I think you're going to see a lot of effort from both sides, get their mid laners ahead to help unlock the entire map.
something else I just noticed too, looking at comps, Want Lose has 4 AP ratio champions with an Ezreal who doesn't mix damage.
Mm.
So this is probably if you're going like I haven't played Lilia that much. Team captain last year when I was playing on jungle kept telling me to play Lilia because she was really broken last year. But if you're building some sort of like Leandri's demonic into tank, maybe Force of Nature is good this game. I want to see it on the Ornn. I mean, you have so much magic damage that MR would be really good here. Merc Tread, stuff like that. Uh, but I mean, I'm looking at the team comp and who's really building those besides Ornn, right? Everyone
Yeah.
else is building like attack speed boots or lucidity.
I don't know.
So
My top laner likes to play Yone a lot, and he has some like interesting build paths. He'll build something like a Force of Nature on non-traditional tanks, like a Yone, like a Kale sometimes, because you already have so much base damage. You get those two items, like Shield Bow, IE is like a huge spike for Kayn. Like you can just win the game with those and Zerker Greaves. So why not throw a free Force of Nature on top? Now Victor doesn't really have the kill pressure on you. I think you get the movement speed, you get the magic resist, and it's like an extra buff. It's like magic damage does in general like 20% less or something.
yeah, it's
Something sick.
20% less damage and you get movement speed. 30 movement speed and like 25 MR, I think, after you get hit with 6 abilities or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you eat Azrael Qs or Diana Qs or even Mundo Cleavers. I mean, that's all magic damage that's hitting you. And now Yone's just gonna get faster to run people down. Um, that's gonna be dangerous. And could work. I don't know that we'll see it, but it's an option there. It's something I've heard of before. But yeah, I mean, there's only really two true tanks in this game. You got Ornn, you got Mundo. Everyone else is pretty squishy. And there's a lot of damage. Yone, Aphelios, Lilia, Ezreal, even Karma hits pretty hard. So there's a lot of damage in this game, and so I think that's where we're going to see the importance of itemization and safety with stuff like the Shield Bow, Forces of Natures. I know Zon is obviously going to be a big one here for a lot of these AP champions. So there's a lot of things here to look at and to see how the opt to build moving in. But looks like we're already in game, and we're just going to see a 5-point here for both sides.
Yeah, I wouldn't see any invades coming out. Stuff to notice, we do have the kill pressure bot lane with Exhaust Ignite on Aphelios Karma, Exhaust on Janna with that Glacial Augment, love to see it. Diana with Conquer. I'm seeing a Ghost TP for Mundo.
That is interesting. I don't hate it. I mean, Flash is not bad, obviously, on like anybody other than like Hecarim. But
Oh,
Little,
Okay.
little,
A little bit of teasing there, nothing crazy.
yeah,
I like it as well. I think if you can avoid Ornn hitting a knockup or full Wing you, I mean, Lilia is not going to be able to take off the shield like we were talking about until 6, and even then that takes like such a long time for it to go through, the sleep to go through. She has to hit something first. So Ghost probably isn't too bad here.
I mean, it just helps him. Like you said, they're lacking engage. The Ghost from the Mundo could definitely help that. Ghost ults, and you're getting plenty of movement speed. You can just like run right at the team and force a fight that way because you're going to be tanky. You can just run right in and take some hits.
Yeah, it
There's going
makes
to
them
be
sticky for sure.
we see a ward placed by AA. You're going to see this blue buff start from the Diana. The junglers are pathing opposite each other. See some, not some, jungle fighting, but we definitely will see some ganks. I don't think WL knows. No, they actually didn't assume because the bot lane didn't leash, didn't even fake leash. So junglers should know which other are. So it'll provide some interesting fun for how they choose to path and gank in this early game. These guys try to trade in their lanes. Mundo and Ornn already off to the races, smacking each other a little bit. Maybe we'll get some respectful grasp trading. I know top laners are very much into that.
A lot of handshaking for grass stacks going on top, I agree. Something I noticed early here, we are seeing early wards on both buffs by Astral Affliction as we see a little bit of a fight go on here bot lane.
Great trade there from Aphelios and Karma, really smacking the heck out of Janna, forcing her to use a pot already. She'll get nice and healed up from that though, but Yon looking to go in here. The Q, but does just keep smacking the Victor a little bit. Get some good trading. It's pretty even though. Victor threw back some damage of his own, especially with the electrocute bonus there. Was able to hit pretty hard as Mundo does win the race to 3 and is just shoving this Ornn down, knowing that the Lilia right at top is pathing down. He can kind of just freely smack these waves, get this under tower, try to deny some of that farm from Ornn. He's already built a comfortable 6 farm lead, and we'll see how much of this Ornn he can catch under his tower.
Yeah, something I'm noticing as well now that I didn't catch on to at the beginning is we see more Cleavers just getting chucked at that goat's face. We have Electrocute on Victor, and he started Doran's Ring 2 health pot. I feel like if you're into a Yone, especially one that's cocky enough to build a Doran's Blade into you, if you just play Airy with Corrupting Pot, I feel like that lane goes a lot better because you can just consistently poke him out, even if he did go shield, but...
Yeah, I think Airy definitely would have made a little bit more sense. I mean, Victor, he does plenty of damage. That Electrocute isn't super necessary. The extra poke from Airy, I think, is better. You hit those E's, on the wave, and you tickle their heels and do a little bit more. That helps you get that kill pressure of just shoving them in constantly, just being oppressive in lane. And I also really don't like the Ignite take. I mean, I get it. You're against a Yone. He's going to heal like crazy. I just don't think Victor with Ignite makes the most sense in the world. As we see, again, more trading bot lane, Ezreal. Then it up a Karma open shield there. I didn't even see her health bar move. It was beautiful.
Yeah, really nice shield there, blocking that damage and the potential first strike gold. Yeah, I agree. I think Ignite, you could just go TP here and just be able to match. Split pushing Victor really good after he gets that E evolved with the 100 minions, with the 100 shards, I guess now, because it's not on an item anymore, but being able to get that up as good as we see a little bit of fighting.
Yeah, Mundo just walking forward and just daring Ornn to fight back. Ornn really not winning it. Gets the W proc, but does flash away. Mundo just not caring. He just does go where he pleases. Just walking through the minion wave, smacking Ornn around, and taking a favorable trade and burning an early sum.
Yeah, Mundo, I don't think was sure he'd be able to win that fight there, as it looked like a clear favorite to me that he was going to be able to come out on top, but he did back away from it instead of keep going. I think he could have just got first blood there, but we'll have to see, I guess, as TP burn from Ornn getting back into lane. I'm guessing Mundo is going to shove out this wave and do a little bit of that himself. Sadly, Mundo can go where he pleases, but he cannot forge items like Ornn can.
No, he cannot. I do think in the trade, though, he was worried about the minion wave because he kind of walked into the wave to smack Ornn that last time for the grass proc. I don't think he wanted to risk fighting inside a wave. So he kind of walked away, and I guess it just benefited from the... I don't think the Ornn really needed to flash, personally, but... obviously he does. Yon looking for a favorable trade, but misses Q3 again. But he's not landed any of those yet, at least that we have seen. As the Glacial Augment Janna. I know that's a big thing now. It's just always funny to see. It's not like the first thing you'd expect when you see a Janna, I guess. Up to the Q. Little fun knock-up plus slow. But good trading. We see bot lane backing here for AA. Getting her first items, Karma, from some boots and wards, and whoa, a lot of health potions. My goodness, she has 4 now.
That's I don't like that at all. I feel like if you're getting that many health potions, both of them could have just bought a refill. You know you're going to get poked out in that lane, as we see. Oh,
Ornn missing ult, but the W from Victor comes down, gets the double stun, sidesteps everything else, and does flash himself out though. I don't know if he needed to. It looks like he was actually just going to get away with the W, but Diana is here for potential follow-up if needed, but nope, she's just going to walk away. These junglers going to path opposite again. Dragon is up. No one's really made any moves for it. We see the one pink ward in the Pixel Brush off of AA, but other than that, no one's really made any steps to get to the dragon or get some vision around it. Mostly just been farming, kind of respecting each other, and outside of, we see actually big CS farm advantages here for WL, both in the top and bot lane. Ornn is down 10, as well as Aphelios, both of them actually down identical numbers here, so nothing crazy. 10 minions isn't the end of the world, but it is a nice little chunk of gold. Definitely an advantage that you want, but Aphelios catching a large wave here should even most of this out.
Yeah, I agree. As someone who enjoys getting 22, 23-minute souls almost every game, or at least trying to, I do like seeing early dragon pressure. I know you do the same. We're trying to get those early objectives going out, and I'm wondering, maybe you don't go for the first Drake, but are we going to see some Herald plays? So we see Yone just hopping onto this Victor, abusing him. Oh, there's the Electrocute proc, though. That's good.
Yone does finally find one of those Q3s, and obviously worked out really well. Gets a huge trade, taking Victor down to half, but Victor does still have 2 pots, so he should be fine. And able to catch a lot of these waves. He should be getting his evolved E here pretty soon if he doesn't already, which will definitely, I guess he gets it in 15 minutes. Although no cannons count for more. I don't know how many Diana going in here ulting under the Karma, but here comes Yone. Goes forward, doing a lot of damage. Can Karma find? Nope, she gets away. Diana's out of dashes, but she does flash away. Yone not quite able to kill, and the Diana knock up in the land. Victor's right there. He ults to Yone. Ignite is down. Yone should die. No, he flashes away. No, but Ezreal comes over the wall with his arcane shift. Q finds, and now Aphelios is on the run. Aphelios very low, gets the shield from Karma, and they should get out. No, Ezreal flashes forward, but the turret does eat Q, but he just can't keep going. As a dive is going to come in top, and Ornn doesn't get the second charge of his ult, but gets the riddle proc anyway, and Lilia does all the damage she needs. Oh, wow, that's a lot. Went from no deaths to 4 in the span of 30 seconds there, as just Diana going in on a Karma she thought was alone, and Yone trying to follow up and save, but cost him his life.
Yeah, and we saw the Diana running out of dashes there and throwing the Q a little bit short, throwing it on top of herself. I think more of a panic because all those people showing up. And it looks like, speaking of objective focus, with the end of that fight being favored for WL, it looks like first Drake, the Hextech Dragon, is going to be going over to them here. What will be next Cloud. So we're not going to be seeing a Cloud or Hextech Soul. I do like those gates. I want it to be Infernal or Mountain, honestly. I'm not sure how well Ocean would be this game when you have someone like Mundo running around with Ocean Soul.
Mundo with Ocean Soul would be wildly oppressive, but personally, I don't like the new Cloud. The movement speed is nice. Oh, Lilia is here. Wants to go in on the Victor. The Drowsy does come through, and he is now asleep, taking a lot of damage. Ornn missing the ult on a sleeping target, but doesn't matter. They have more than enough damage. See, Diana goes in with the 2-man ult, trying to chase on this Lilia, but Lilia's gonna get away. Karma's here with the shields, and now Diana is gonna get punished for her overstep. Yone, helping do plenty of damage, trying to maybe dive the Jen, and nope, he'll just walk away. Lilia actually does pick up the kill there, though. Over ambitious from the Diana. She just kind of goes in by herself, not knowing that the Karma was roaming up, and gets punished for it. Not able to finish off the Lilia. Karma with an excellent roam there to save her jungler. AA off to a nice start here now. They're almost 2k gold and the 2 kills.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen this Diana overstep, trying to fight with not paying attention to where everyone is on the map. Plus, we see the Yone missing another ult on a standstill target. For sure, still getting the kills, so it's not that big of a deal, but hopefully that won't be a factor late game when the ults are going to matter a whole lot more, as we see more trading going out top lane here.
Clearly the Yone is missing them right now when it doesn't matter, to lull WL into a false sense of security so he can hit the big ones later when they're least prepared. That's definitely my take on the situation, and I will not be hearing any contrary opinions. And I don't know if you noticed, but the Ornn and Mundo in that trade top, Ornn hit everything pretty perfectly. He staggered the W and then knock up off of his E, and he still was actually walking out of that with less health. As Mundo kind of just walks up to him and starts trying to kill him. Ornn tries to do some damage, but now we have Yone going in the mid lane. He's going to get stunned. Nope, he dashes back to avoid the W, but Mundo kind of just walked up and smacked the hack out of Ornn. As Diana's right here to go onto the Lilia. Ornn comes down but misses everybody. Karma's here though. Again, another great roam from her, and it might save the day. Diana with a 3-man ult, lots of damage, and Mundo has he has enough to finish it. Diana has to walk away. The Ignite ticking but won't kill. Lilia trying to get away. Now Yone's here to save the day, and he will get the finishing kill. But now Victor's here. Does Yone have enough to fight? Nope, he doesn't. Victor should just kill him. Ignite ult is great. That was just back and forth. At first, it looked like WNL was going to get caught out. And then it looked like they were about to turn it around. But then Yone comes up, and just the rotations from both these teams are excellent. Karma all the way top lane here. Telling Aphelios, hey man, I know it sucks, but you're going to have to hang out by yourself. I'm going to help everybody else. And, you know, Janna getting some good poke in here. And the Ezreal is going to come down. And, ooh, one health left on the Aphelios there.
First strike almost finishing him off. Yeah, we see the Karma was walking through the jungle, following the Lilia, helping her clear earlier. So do love seeing that as a jungler, having a support with you there. And they perfectly stalled, WL stalled that fight, waiting for the Diana ult. It came up just as she used it as well. So being able to kite back with the Diana Qs and Mundo, especially Mundo Cleaver, slowing them down is just great here. As we see Ezreal just saying, you're going to stop my back, I'm going to stop you from living, almost chunking her down.
One Q away from killing her, it looks like there. There's plenty of damage. Already has a finished Essence Reaver and a mostly stacked tier. This Ezreal 2-0, he's looking pretty dangerous right now. You know, we were saying this bot lane doesn't do too much, but, you know, nice little gold lead, get the kills off of the gank, or I guess the pre-dragon fight bot lane, and you know, he's built himself quite a steady lead here. Yep, up 600 gold, so that's pretty strong. 500 for the Yone, 600 in the jungle on the favor of Lilia, and then top lane Mundo is basically even. So, you know, little leads here and there. Nothing too incredible though. We're still only 300 gold difference between these two teams, but we do see, you know, the bot lane from WNL very far ahead versus the jungle and mid lane of AA that are quite ahead of their opponents. Now is Ornn trying to trade on this Mundo. I don't understand why he's trying to trade when he doesn't really win these anymore. Mundo just, you know, too much healing, too much damage, and the cleaver poke is just incessant. As I guess Ornn tries to want it. He's looking for the go in there, but knows that Mundo has passive, can't really take the dash.
Yeah, Mundo playing those fights super well. Every time Ornn throws this Q and starts Wing, all Mundo has to do is W back, and he gets that gray health that he can get back after an extended fight. Plus, with his cleavers and stuff like that, it's just hard for Ornn to do anything, especially with Sunfire almost being built for the Mundo. I mean, it's just going to be a wet noodle fight, nothing we didn't expect, but like we had said earlier, this matchup is Mundo favored, slightly, but still Mundo favored, as we see a nice tornado coming out from the Janna here, forcing the flash, though.
Yeah,
with
she is forced
Cloud
up. It was a good look. Lilia doesn't press ult there, though. I was curious. She hit the little ball. I think it's her Q?
Her E. Her E is the bowling ball.
Alright. You can see how much I've played Lilia. Clearly, I know so much about the champion. But no, I mean, she just opts not to put the Janna to sleep. But she will start up this dragon now. Janna forced to flash away. They have Prio's Young to go in here on the the Victor, doing plenty of damage, and this goes back. Nice trade. Keeps the pressure mid so that their team can secure this dragon. As Karma is almost killed. These Astral ults are hitting for a lot of damage. I'm sure the first strike bonus off of them is quite terrific at this point. As Victor, you know, he's a little behind in farm, but he has that finish Ludens. Obviously has the fully charged. Oh, Young goes in with the ult. Q3 and Ignite and just blows up the Victor as Ornn ulting in here. Mundo trying to win this fight. Ornn gets the ult and the QW down. Can he? Oh my gosh! Wow, that was a lot of damage.
Oh,
going in though, misses the ult. And now Lilia should just run her down. The Drowsy does come through. She is asleep and killed by the Lilia. Ornn, great fight there. It looked like I didn't think he was going to win it, but just the brittle proc absolutely destroying Mundo. And Lilia here to protect him from the Diana dive as she misses the ult with a great flash on the Ornn. And 2 kills in favor of AA as they're going to crash a big wave here. And it looks like Ornn doesn't want the overstay for the Demolish proc and just going to go head back to base.
Yeah, and we did see, while that was happening in the bot side with the dragon being taken for Astral Affliction, we did see Arya, the Diana, taking that Rift Herald at least, so it's good that they were able to trade on the other side of the map as we see Yone going in again, chunking out this Janna, punishing the roam there.
Yeah, I mean, this Yone just very willing to just press his E, good about, you know, knowing when to use it and just go up, just poke someone pretty hard. I mean, obviously as a champion with no mana, he can just take these trades infinitely as long as he has the cooldowns coming back up. So, you know, hits Janna pretty hard, chunks her to half, and she has to go back down bot lane, already pretty low, and Elias Kamara, they definitely want to look for a kill here if they can. It's Young going in again, trying to take a favorable trade as Mundo and Ornn again battling in the top side of the map. Mundo is no longer winning these. They're taking a lot of damage from Ornn as Lilia is rotating up. Mundo does press ult, he keeps the fight going, but there's no blast gun. Where's he going to go? He has ghosted. making a run for it. Lilia has no ult, but Yona's here too.
Yone.
Yona's got nowhere to go, but he just keeps healing and running. He's trying to find a way out. Yone comes over the wall with his E, and they will find the damage. Lilia finally is the one to get the kill. Mundo, I mean, he almost got away. I think if he chooses to run a little bit sooner, he would have found that blast on his way out, but unfortunately, Lilia cutting off that escape exit and Yone roaming up to help his team just corral him back into the jungle for a free kill.
Yeah, it's definitely a top side of the map difference right now for the start for Astral Affliction. I think the Ezreal's just saying, guys, you just need to stop dying. We got 4 deaths on the Mundo, 3 on the Diana, 2 on the Victor. Like, Ezreal and them are winning bot lane, I would say, rather hard, and I think you just need to keep that momentum up and keep to the bot side of the map. Don't try to tower dive again on Diana. You know, stop fighting under their tier 1 as Mundo. Like, play the game slow. Let your Ezreal and Victor scale up and do a lot of damage as we see Yone almost clapping him again, missing the ult. Oh.
Classic, a staple of his now. I think it's his 3rd missed ult, but you know, given the benefit, this time it wasn't on a standing still target. Victor was actively trying to dodge it, so it makes it a little bit more respectable as Ezreal keeps crashing these waves here. This tower is pretty close to going down. But, you know, I said in Champion Select that I thought AA should play for their bot side. That's where their hard scaler is with the Aphelios. You know, play for the... is Ornn going to go in, gets a good Q3, and Victor kind of just overstepping for whatever reason, maybe trying to help take that tower, or at least get the local gold from the plates. There's Lilia taking a fight against Diana here, but Yone's in the area. Diana with a good ult, but Zhonya's by the Lilia, and you know, she's just going to die here. The sleep does go through, the ignite off of the Yone, and it's another kill for him. He's now 4-2. Up a good chunk of CS, 10 there. Should probably get this tower, honestly, but Mundo is roaming down. Might be able to stop the 2-man, but I don't even know. The Lilia is doing quite a bit of work. 5-0-3. You know, I was doubting the pick, and you know, you were also a little apprehensive about it, but she's proven us wrong and gone pretty crazy this game.
Like I said, this is what we wanted to see. We want the Lilia to prove us wrong, and that's exactly what she's doing. Something else I noticed a while ago, but didn't have a time to slot it in because of all this fighting that's been happening, is Kraken Slayer coming on the Aphelios here. I'm not sure how much I like that, considered, you know, it could be a Gale Force or something like that, but maybe it's good into the Mundo. But I think if the Diana does try to hop on you, maybe that Gale Force is a little bit better. But I don't play Aphelios, so I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, the only reason I would say I don't like the Kraken is because you can get LDR, which does pretty similar to what Kraken's going to do anyway. And then you could get more utility out of even a shield bow. I mean, there's a lot of damage on the side of WL. I think the shield bow to protect yourself could be good, but definitely the Gale Force to reposition. You know, if maybe Mundo's trying to catch you out with a cleaver and just slow you and you need to get away from him, or obviously the Diana going in and ulting, you know, there's a lot of options. I think just you get more utility out of something like the Gale Force, the shield bow, and then you could still just go LDR second, which it looks like he's doing anyway with that.
Yeah, with the last whisper, yeah.
Yeah, so just it seemed like, you know, maybe he's going too hard. Like, if there's like 3 tanks, you know, if you have a tank, top, jungle, and support, I would totally be on board with this, because then you could just shred them like crazy. But with just the Mundo, I feel like it's a little bit overkill, as AA gonna get the 2nd dragon of the game, so we are gonna get Mountain. The extra stats could be pretty big for them here. Getting nice and tanky. Ornn definitely gonna be a problem. He's already finished 1 item, working on his 2nd, and even 3rd. He has 2 different components for 2 different items. But the vision is a big thing. Look at this string of pink wards in the bot river. You got 3, 1 in the pit. Oh, 4. You got 4 down here. I mean, W and L is not on the same page as it comes to vision. Not getting their wards out. You know, they're warding their own jungle defensively, but you know, nothing proactive about their warding.
Yeah, and it's hard to be able to get any wards in, as we see Ornn just doing Ornn things, being the tank assassin, goddess himself, just running down everyone. Mundo getting out with his ultimate. Looks like a 3v2 here going on. Diana hitting the ult on Lilia. Lilia caught out, being able to get the sleep off beforehand. Janna, great disengage on the ult there. We see Victor going in with the ultimate, being able to get the kill. Maybe the Ornn ticking down. Gone. Yone still up. Still has a shield bow active. Ezreal trying to do his best, but it's a... What is that? A 3 for 2 on the side of AA, and... I mean, I'm not sure what they'll be able to get out of it. At least some waves, maybe take jungle camps, but... You know, Kraken Slayer Aphelios getting 2 kills there, so I mean, I guess if he's untouched and they try to keep diving onto this Lilia and the Ornn, I guess it doesn't matter what you put on Aphelios, right?
You know, he's able to get plenty of damage off in that fight, and just, it seems a little weird. At first it was like, oh, just another wet noodle fight, nothing too crazy, as Yone going way forward, flashing forward, ignites, and it should kill. She doesn't have W or Zhonya's, yep. So she does go down, but it looked like it was just a wet noodle fight, you know, Ornn and Mundo trading, and then just everyone kind of, you know, filters in 1 or 2 at a time, and before you know it, it's a whole team fight with 5 whole deaths. So, definitely an exciting game so far. I mean, we're averaging 1 kill a minute basically, so 4K gold lead for AA. They've expanded this a little bit. They were winning the early game in terms of getting the kills, but they hadn't grown that gold lead. Now they are actively doing so, and turning these kills into more than just 300 gold advantages, but 400 or 500 apiece. Getting plating or a couple camps, or denying waves. So definitely a benefit to them now as they are moving their vision to the Baron pit. Could honestly go for pretty early Baron here. They have all the guards.
Yeah, and Kraken Slayer being really good as long as Aphelios has good guns, which he does have the best guns for fighting around pit, in my opinion, especially with Kraken Slayer.
And they're just going for it. Victor's bot lane, no TP. I mean, this should be pretty feat. Ezreal gonna ult, they're gonna see it out. Does pretty good damage. His Yone ult forward. Gonna go onto the Janna here and kill her. The Ornn ult comes through to try to disengage and will hit the Ezreal. Mundo trying to come in on the side, but there's just no way to fight. They don't have anything left. Mundo should get chased down now. Drowsy goes through, he does go to sleep, and Yone goes in, but Aphelios is the one who finishes off that kill. And they're just going to rotate immediately top with this Baron. They already have 2 dead. Ezreal and Diana the only 2 left, and Diana could kill the Karma here if she wants it, but opts not to go for the dash. Victor, he's going to get the bounty off of, bot tower, I guess. So, we take those, I suppose, as Lilia crashing a Baron wave and taking this mid tier 2 as the rest of her team is sieging top with Baron buff.
This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the game. You can't have a Victor split pushing, which is what Victors do like to do after they get that E upgrade, especially with a Lich Bane second. You do a lot of damage to towers, but you have Ignite, you don't have TP. So you're split pushing bot, you're already making the fight down. You're down 6k gold. The Diana's farming wolves with Baron up, and it's hard. It's hard for them right now. I think the Ezreal's name sums it all up. He's been doing really good, but I think everything else, just watching his team fall apart slowly, is actual depression.
Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't died. He's kept a farm lead this entire game. Has those 2 kills he picked up early, and he's doing plenty of damage. His team just not backing him up. If Victor is there at that Baron pit, potentially with Victor E's and Ezreal Q's, you could poke them off the Baron. But obviously Victor not there, no TP. They kind of have to watch as it goes down and maybe pray that someone steals it over the wall on accident. But see, 1 minute to Dragon will be sole point for AA if they can acquire it. But WL's here first. Moved in the vision, but Ezreal wants to back. Probably has an item he's waiting on. His channel also starts to recall and
Queen. Just Crown the Shattered Queen, 3rd item for Ezreal there.
Ezreal has just hit a big power spike. So there's a chance actually if they come into this next fight ready to go, that they could turn this around and benefit themselves. 1 minute left on Baron. They shouldn't get a good push out of it anymore. Obviously they're going to move down to the Dragon, shove in this last wave, and I think that Baron shouldn't be a problem for WL anymore. The gold lead now, though, 6.5k, it looks like, ish, as Yone goes in, finds the Janna, and just deletes her as Ornn and Mundo are trading in the top lane. We'll see Ornn can drop the ult now, trying to kill this Mundo, gets the knockup, the Brittle comes down, the knockup again off the wall. Mundo forced the ult, but Brittle doing a lot of damage here. Now he's trying to try to kite away with the cleavers. Is able to get away as Victor's now roamed up here to maybe catch out this Ornn, but just misses the E. Ornn flash dash away, and that'll be that. And that should be a pretty free Baron here now too for AA or Dragon. I apologize.
Yeah, you got Aphelios soloing it on the bottom there. They're just gonna shove up with Baron buff. I mean, there's no way they can contest it. And the problem is Ezreal just hit his power spike, which is great, but you have to stay back and poke with that, and you have Ornn ultimate, Lilia running at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour like Bambi trying to resurrect her mom.
She flashes forward and the Drowsy comes through. Diana looking to try to get away, but just so much damage comes down. Aphelios says, she gets a lot of ults for it though, so her death for 3 ults it was. Maybe
yeah, but I'm not sure how worth that is here, as it looks like they might be able to siege down this. Well, maybe not with the wave clear. Victor and Ezreal wave clear is good.
Yeah, I mean, without the Baron, the wave clear from WL is pretty good. Even Janna to a degree, she puts her E on the tower to protect it, uses Q, and you can just destroy these waves pretty easily. But with Baron up in 2.5 minutes, AA, they're in a great spot now. They have all the momentum in the world, plenty of damage, the better team fight, the better rotations, honestly, and a almost 7k gold lead. Things are looking up for them. I think now it's a matter of just shoving these waves in, denying what you can from WL, get some more spikes, and then when that Baron comes up, grabbing that and going for an end.
Yeah, and if you're on the side of WL here, what do you think you can do besides keep this Ezreal alive and try to poke out? I just don't think you have anything. Like, none of the pieces are there besides wave clear, right? So what all can you do you think to get back in this game? Because it's not technically lost yet, right? I mean, there's always mistakes could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that their best chance now is to just make a desperation play. You see Orin ulting on the Victor here. Got good
Ooh.
flash, is able to avoid it, so that's smart. See, right here, why is Diana pathing top? You know that these three are here. You don't know where the other two are. I'd say make a play. Have Diana be working her way down here and then just go in. They've, expended an ult and a Shrelia to try to catch out the Victor. Why don't they just, re-engage after that? Victor get caught here, though. The sleep go through, but he's pretty safe. But Yon looking to do some damage. It's a great two-man ult, and Arya is going to die. Godlike on the Yon. He's ghosting and ulting away, but can he keep cutting? Ooh, the Victor doing good damage paired with the Astral. The poke is strong. There's a chance that this is the chance they're looking for. Victor is going to get hit by the third, but the Gen ult comes through and saves the day. Yon forced to back away, and Victor actually has more health than when the Yon went in, thanks to that healing. But he is out of mana, no blue buff, and Baron is spawning in 50 seconds. So what I was saying is WNL needs to make a play, and they're just sitting here waiting for AA to push them in and make a play, and then they're trying their best to not die. They need to pull the trigger in some way and find a pick before these objectives come up so they can at least try to win these fights. Because right as it stands, they just don't have what it takes to fight back.
Yeah, and you gotta think about it like this too. Your WL, you're saying we gotta engage. Yeah, so which one of our combined 2 and 13 engaged champions, 1.5 engaged champions, because it's Mundo, he can only do so much. Like, your engage is, nothing right now. Like, they can't do anything. Diana can land, she's landed good ults this game. 2, 3, 4-man ultimates, but it doesn't matter because even if you're not getting exhausted in reaction by the Aphelios, you're doing like 400 damage with a full combo. Look at that. There's nothing to the Lily as she's just getting clapped with a full combo, only doing about a third of her health bar as we see her just dying. Here is Baron up again, and sadly this Diana falls to 0-8, just getting caught out at inopportune times.
Yeah, you mentioned doing no damage. Take a look at the second item in Lilia's slot. That Force of Nature you mentioned earlier. It works out. She got 2 big items, and now she said, okay, I have a lot of AP. I'm going to grab this item, and now you'll do nothing to me. Baron picked up there by the Aphelios, and this team should just be able to march it down mid and end the game at their leisure. Soul for them will come up to 115. I imagine they'll have no problems getting that Drake outside of a wacky steal or unfortunate. Astral actually finding some good damage here, going forward with the arcane shift, but the sleep goes through. He is hit by the Yono misses, but Avery is going to find some kind of damage and finish him off. It looks so good. You might have had the pick there, but now Lilia just trading with the Mundo and not taking any damage. These Karma Shields are doing so much work. Yon trying his best to get into the base and do some damage. Does pick up the Victor. Janna is able to avoid the Ornal, but Mundo should go down here. The Aphelios, and this should just be game as everyone has fallen now. Only Janna left alive. 20 seconds on Ezreal. Baron minions crashing into the base now in multiple waves. An AA should be able to secure a win here pre-30 minutes as they're just going to go on to the Nexus Towers.
Yeah, you can avoid the Ornn ultimate, but you cannot avoid the loss. This game was 5-4 at one point, and it ends 25-6 as it's a win for the sister team of Astral Affliction.
A great game, like you said. Yeah, it was 5-4 at one point. It was looking pretty good, pretty balanced, and then AA just took off and went somewhere else with it. And they're actually able to win the game.
Very, very well played. Wow, super excited to see this team play more. Especially, could tell they're very talented from the scrims we were playing against them, and for a team thrown together for this season, I think that was just a great game one.
It was very well done. It looked very clean in terms of rotations, just playing as a group, and it worked out for them. They were able to close this game out, pretty freely. Just no way to stop the push in.
You can throw
WNL just, I think they kind of lose it in draft here, and we saw that as the game went on. They just didn't have a way to get back into this game.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it here a little bit more. We're going to take a quick break before we get to interview the winning team.
just like a razor. Murk up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. 나쁜데 turning heads, I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, 걸어 들어와, 유행 선두자. 원하지만 못하잖아, 애가 타잖아. You like whoa, 달리 유도 gold. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아, 나는 내 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye, 믿어봐. 그만큼 크게 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해, 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss, 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해, 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. Coming at you loud, real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddest do. Never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddest do. It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, know it makes you sad. Yeah, for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me coming, get out of the way. I can just lay, back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해, 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy. Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 mark. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex. Everybody, panic.
Hold on. I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Da-da-da-da. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Welcome back, everybody. Like we saw, it was a great, exciting game, and we're gonna be blessed to be joined by the mid laner from Astral Affliction, the Yon himself. And we're just excited. Yon, how does it feel, man? How was the win?
Oh, it feels great, man. It was really nice.
Yeah. So week one, great start to the game. I mean, just walk me through draft. What was the plan going in? Did things work out like you expected them to? Just talk to us about it.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't even supposed to play Yone that game, but it just the draft was like it was kind of looking like a Yone game because they just drafted 4 squishies, so it was just a great game for Yone.
Fair, fair. I mentioned at the end of the stream or at the end of that game, at one point it was 5-4. You guys favored by 1 kill. The game ended 25-6. What do you think was the main reason you guys were able to snowball so hard in that mid game?
Honestly, I think the main reason we were able to snowball is because our macro is just I think our macro is just a lot better than theirs. Like we were always like, going to dragons, trying to stop them from doing Rift Herald, all those type of things.
Hmm.
I mean, for sure, your macro was definitely like out of this world. I mean, the Baron call was beautiful. The Victor being bot lane with no TP, and you guys just no hesitation jumped on that thing and took it. So, and also pushing for that soul point very quickly was good to watch. But there was one thing I saw, and the micro was a little weird. You missed a couple of pretty big Yonals, especially on
Uh,
some less than mobile targets. You want to explain that one a little bit for me?
oh, okay, okay. It was a zoning ulti. That's what
Oh,
happened.
They
of
can't be
course.
asleep there. That's right. They can't be asleep there if they're. I got you. And I got one
Yeah,
more important question before we send you guys back to be able to celebrate with your team. What's your favorite color?
my favorite color is a red.
A great choice.
It's like a mid color at best.
A
Is
mid
that all
color at
right?
best. Do you
Appreciate it,
wanna?
man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give you one chance to fix that answer. Do you want to elaborate? What kind of red are we talking? Are we talking about rose red? Maybe a burgundy? You want to spice it
Oh,
up a little bit for us?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking for like a darker red, A
Okay,
little
a
darker
darker
red.
red.
All right, get this
Well,
guy
Yeah.
out of here.
Churi,
Ah,
thank you so much for stopping by, man. Congratulations on
yeah.
your win. It's great to start
Yeah.
1-0, and best of luck with the rest of your season.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Well, that was Churi, the mid laner for Astral Affliction. But now we get to kick our way to game two. We'll be seeing Insomnia Gaming versus team name I forgot to look up. I'm so sorry. Expo
Explode
Blue.
blue.
So
Yeah, he had a little
clearly
bit of
I'm on top
insomnia
of it
gaming.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Mike, what do you see from these two teams? Any champions that are standing out or anything in their matches that you're really looking forward to seeing?
Um, from the jungler of Xflow, I'm seeing Hecarim and Shyvana and Jarvan as their main champions, and that's literally us. Like if we had a League of Legends child, that's our child right there. You just got to splash in some Udyr and a Mumu, and that's basically our champion pools of characters we can play. So I'm excited to see, especially with Hecarim being as strong as he is right now. Um, on the side of Insomnia Gaming, I'm seeing some Irelia for their top laner and Kiana for the mid laner, and all I'm seeing is strong carries, and I really want to see some of that in this game.
No, I mean, definitely some interesting. The Hecarim you mentioned was played twice in on Thursday's matches, once by myself and once by another team that I don't know.
Yeah, that played
Um,
it a lot better. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Okay, well, someone didn't die, and there definitely was me. So I just want to leave that out there. But I mean, no, he's a very good proactive jungler. I mean, I think he's going to be the key for Xville just because his champ pool looks very impactful. The Hecarim, you mentioned the Jarvan, the Shiv. He has some Diana in there, some Gwen, Rek'Sai, even a
I'm seeing a
Volibear.
Rek'Sai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's got these champions that like to gank, that like to, make some magic happen in the early game. And I think just watching how he plays will be crucial for his team's success. And like you mentioned, just carry after carry after carry for Insomnia Gaming. I mean, these guys like their damage dealers and they like these snowbally champions. I definitely think we're going to be in for a high kill kind of game. What about you?
yeah, I would hope so. Something like last game, but maybe a little bit more close. I do like seeing the occasional stop, especially if it's us being the ones that are handing it to the other people. But you want to see close games. It makes it better to cast, better to watch. On the side of Insomnia, though, I'm seeing their jungler Creed. I'm gonna say that's how I'm gonna pronounce his name. It's definitely not that. It has the weird AE. I'm not very smart, but he's got a lot of Viego and Master Yi. And I already have a soft spot in my heart for this guy because I love playing those champions. I can't play them well, but man, Viego and Master Yi, I would love to see a Master Yi just go crazy here.
I would not. That champion gives me nightmares, and there's just so much bad blood between me and him. He was one of the guys that was super strong when I first started jungling with Feral Flare, if I'm sure you remember.
Hmm.
And that was just terrible to watch. He would just show up to your jungler, press Q, and I would die. I'd be like, okay, well, that's not fun. Um, but no, I mean, he definitely is a very impactful, very strong. He gets a couple early kills, and he can just take over a game by himself. Um, his champ pool, it looks like he like prefers, those two more than anything.
Yeah.
But he can play a little bit more. So we'll see, what he opts to do if he gets put in that box of just these two champions, or if they're banned against him. I mean, something that you always look for when a player appears to have a very small pool of their routine comfort champions is, what they opt to play and how teams opt to ban against him. But only 5 seconds away from draft here. So, Mike, I'm going to send you over, and you'll be joined by another caster. And I wish all the best of luck.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna miss you. Welcome,
It's more than
Chris.
you're gonna have a good time with me. Come on.
Of course, we're going to have a great time as I'm joined by my ADC, Chris, aka Imagine Reloading. As we're getting right into picks and bans, we're seeing Viego, Kiana, and Master Yi. Maybe we should have been saying stuff a little bit quieter as they're banning everything we talked about. Hecarim
Literally
and
5
Trundle.
jungles.
Yeah, I like it. Kiana being the mid laner for Insomnia, though, actually, which is surprising to me that they're targeting out that character. He does play Twisted Fate as well. Jinx and Trundle banned for Insomnia, and it's a first pick Diana.
Goes pretty well, especially with the carry mid laner on Xflow. We saw it last game, but hopefully a better performance from this jungle Diana than the last one.
Well, it could be a flex, right? We're not 100% sure. I would rather see it in the jungle, but I mean, who knows, right? Maybe they're picking it, trying to do some mega mind flex option, but I'm not sure what we're doing for Insomnia here. As we see Ezreal, another Ezreal.
Just a
Okay.
really safe AD carry that you can pick early in draft, and he kind of fits in almost every comp right now. So anytime he's meta, you're very likely to see him very early.
I think this was a draft plan from Insomnia. I'm looking at the ADC for Xflow, and their most played champions are Jinx, Ezreal, and then Caitlyn is the third slot. So I'm wondering if the goal was ban Jinx last and take the Ezreals. We see, ooh, yes, this is what I want to see last game. Yasuo with the Diana. Ooh.
Yeah, luckily, right now at least, the single carry that Insomnia is showing is Ezreal. He can play far enough back that the Diana Yasuo combo is hard to get off, but we'll see what they round off their comp with in the either jungle or mid, because depending on their range, they could really get blown up by that combo.
Yeah, I do like the Alistair being able to get out of here with his W, just knocking him away. Victor, okay. Another Victor. We're seeing Ezreal Victor a lot today. Probably we'll see him. I mean, there's a reason why, right? They're really good champs right now, but Victor into Yasuo. I'm not really a mid laner. How do you think that matchup's gonna go?
It goes very similar to the matchup you saw last game with Victor against Yone. It's decent until you both have one item. That's pretty much the scariest part because Victor doesn't have enough damage to kill the Yasuo or the Yone through shield bow, and then he will just extended trade kill you after that if you're not careful.
Yeah, and hopefully we're gonna see Summonary Corrupting Pot from this Victor being able to punish early Yasuo laning not being the best, as you see Mundo and Irelia being banned. The Irelia really strong from their top laner. Like I said, not surprised. 2 tanks being banned. I wonder if it's going to be 4 top bans here, actually.
Get more of these tanks out of here. I'm so tired of seeing Mundo versus Ornn in top lane. I want carries to brawl it out.
Something else their top laner plays they might get rid of could be Gragas or Kennen. And that Gragas tank, I love seeing it. Our top laner hates seeing it because we try to keep getting him to play it. So I'm wondering if they're going to ban it here. Gragas very good into Diana Yasuo, being able to peel them off every 3 seconds, but it looks like Nunu being the ban instead. Okay. I
They
mean,
got rid
Nunu
of
is kind of aggressive, so I get it.
well, 2 out of the 3 main junglers for the jungle, which you mentioned, the Hecarim, the Master Yi, the Viego's in there also.
Yeah, I'm wondering what do you do here? I think you just pick jungle and give your top counter pick if you're Insomnia. You already have that, that knowledge. Xinjiao, love it. Love
Right.
it, love it. We're seeing meta junglers right now as this LCS because we're seeing Diana Yas combos. We're seeing a Thresh in there. I like the Xinjiao. Hoping they round out their team comp with a scaling ADC for Exo Blue and then some sort of tank top, even though you don't like him. Gragas was not banned, so maybe we see some Gragas here.
Or even something that can just have a go button in case Diana does end up roaming top. No, it's a Shen.
Okay.
Tank like you thought.
Yeah, Shen being one of his played characters. Looks like his 4th most played for him this season, behind, like we were talking about earlier, the Gragas. So, and the Kaisa, okay, scaling ADC like we were saying earlier. A go button as well, right? If Diana hits the R, you have Shen that can go on her, and the Kaisa being able to follow up as well. So I like it,
Yeah, this Victor is going to need to be really careful about his positioning.
And I'm wondering,
Everyone's just going to be on top of him instantly.
man, just pick Gragas here, right? Like you play it, you play the Gragas. It's one of your most played top laners. It's disengage. It's really good. Mordekaiser. Okay. Mordekaiser, strong as well, extra AP damage, I guess. Pretty sure he wins the matchup against Shen. Maybe
He
not until level 3 though, because Shen level 1 and 2 really good with his Q, but Mordekaiser broken, right? His passive is disgusting. And being able to ult someone out of a fight, if there's ever a chance he can ult, smites should be easier for Xinjiao if he ults Diana. Diana can hit a 5-man ultimate if she's in the Shadow Realm, and Yasuo can't combo off of it. So, looking at these drafts right now, who do you like better?
Hmm. I think I'm slightly in favor of Insomnia, but I think the drafts are really close. And it's mainly because of the Mordekaiser. I don't see a world where Xflow can match the Mordekaiser if it gets to late game, because he'll be able to beat Shen and keep him there from joining the rest of the team. Yasuo could 1v1 him late game in a side lane, but you want your Yasuo with your Diana for the combo, so that's not ideal.
Yeah, taking out your main Wombo piece not very good, and Yeah, as soon as you hit one item, Mordekaiser with that Rift Maker, if that's where he decides to go, I think just dominate Shen. And, being able just to E him, I think it's like every 8 or 9 seconds after max CD. I'm not 100% sure, but it's really fast, right? So it's not like you're going to be able to catch a window. Plus, I'm guessing Mordekaiser's going to go TP here. So being able to match, if anything. But I think I got to agree with you. I like Insomnia's team late game, but I feel like with Diana and Yasuo, right, it doesn't matter what team comp you're up against. If they can just hit really good ultimates, it can completely turn fights. So
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because the four are really going to have to press to make something happen on the other side of the map. Being that Shen will have that losing matchup in the side lane, but I think they have the tools to do it. It'll all be on execution because the Alistar really can mess up this combo a lot as well.
yeah, like I was saying earlier, they go in for the combo and Alistair just goes boop and W's them out of the way. Being able to peel for this Ezreal and Victor as well. And even if they want to use him as some sort of engage bot as well, being able to jump on to like Kaisa or Yasuo, with that ultimate, he can, take a good beating. But I'm not sure if that's what they're going to use him for here. I I don't know, man. It's interesting for sure. I think Insomnia needs to scale and not worry about fights. And I think the jungle matchup's going to be huge. As we saw last game, Diana is a very strong character, but if she falls behind, um, she's useless.
Yeah,
So
and it'll be interesting because I do agree with you. I think if Insomnia plays slow and scales, they have a much better chance here. But they have a very hard winning matchup, in my opinion, with Xin into Diana. Like Xin can just beat Diana into the dirt very early. So they might, if there's any sort of mechanical misplays, they could get baited into early fights. Victor trying to roam to help a 2v2 that they probably shouldn't take or something like that. And that could lead to snowballing if they're not careful.
agreed. Xin Zhao. I mean, these are just two junglers. I guess I'm just stuck on the jungle aspect of this because I'm a jungler. But these two junglers, I mean, getting to the Xin Zhao as well. Like I love Xin Zhao. I think he's very strong. I'm not the best at him myself, but have you been in a game where you've had a useless Xin Zhao besides the ones you play with me? Like one that's super far behind, like he does. I mean, it's just like Diana, right? But I guess Diana does a little bit more. You just can't do that much. Um, Again, I guess we'll take you back to the bot lane matchup because you are an ADC main. Um, Ezreal Alistar versus Kai'Sa Thresh. Who do you have winning that lane overall?
So the kill pressure is all on the Kai'Sa Thresh side. They can go in if they get good hooks on Ezreal. They can follow up, especially post 6. But if the Alistar is good, he can negate most of that kill pressure just with well-timed headbutts. Because Thresh is animation locked when he's taking in his hook, so
Mm.
the Kai'Sa should be able to get headbutted away without worry that Flay will interrupt Alistar. So there's definitely room for the Ezreal Alistar to scale safely. But you need to play it well on the Alistar side.
Yeah, I could also see Exflow rushing a level 2 because we know Alistar's not really a champion until level 2, and even then it's like debatable. um, so I could see them pushing for an early level 2, maybe trying to hit a hook onto this Alistar, who's probably, I'm guessing, only going to have Q at the start. Maybe he goes W if the Thresh plays aggressive. That's definitely one of those, if I'm Alistar, I don't scale an ability until absolutely needed, though. But,
Yeah. Yeah, there
man,
definitely could be some mistakes over the level 2 that get an early kill or anything like that. And even later in the game, it might end up being a situation where you're like, you know what, just hook the Alistar on purpose. Let's try to burst him down because we're not going to catch Ezreal, but we might have enough damage to kill Alistar before Ezreal can do anything to us.
yeah, or at least forcing an ultimate if they do, fight at that level 6, because getting Alistar ult's pretty big. Plus, I don't know if we'll see a lot of tech from this Alistar, but you do break CC immediately, so it would be neat to see him like breaking the chain from that Thresh hook immediately and then doing some sort of headbutt pulverize combo. But not sure how much of an Alicopter fan this guy is. We'll have to see. I don't even remember seeing Alistar in his match history at all unless I'm blind. Um, is this something he's just pulling out, do you think, or is it something maybe he's been practicing?
They have a sub, so we're
Oh,
looking at the wrong information, which ironically their main support anyway is doing that strat where you don't actually play support in ranked, so it's pretty hard to scout that guy.
true. So it looks like the sub for them, let's see, Eric Bobo. Okay. Do a quick look here just to see if I can check. Okay, he has one game of Alistair played this season. So,
So he's an
looks like
Alistair god. We got great
yeah,
mechanics coming in, obviously.
he's an Alistair one trick. It's Alistair, Janna, and Karma, basically. They're the 3 champs he's played. He hasn't really played a lot of rank this season yet, but that's what he's been playing. So should be somewhat familiar on the champion at least. So it's not like he's gonna be playing someone he doesn't know. Which is a good thing because the first couple games I ever tried to play Alistair, I just got lost so much.
Yeah, he's a surprisingly difficult champion to master, even though the basic combo is like fail proof at this point in the game.
Yeah, if you looking at Xflow's draft, is there one thing you think they could have done better? Like one champion you would have liked to see swapped to something else?
I really don't like the Shen pick, and not just because I wasn't interested in seeing tank v tank top. I mean, I understand they're like, oh, Diana, Yasuo go in, and Shen ults one of them, and it's like everyone on the team is diving, so that in a sense that synergy is really good. But like I mentioned with the week in the jungle of Xin into Diana, I would have liked a really aggressive solo laner to be able to balance some of that weakness off in the early game, like a Renekton or something like that. Someone who's going to get you prio so you can at least have one side of the
Mhm.
map that you control.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of us are going to be saying top laners here for the choices of stuff we'd rather change. Of course, I was sitting here saying Gragas over and over again for Insomnia Gaming because, like, I just maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think Gragas with this team, you need more disengage. I mean, Xinjia Ultimate, I guess, can get people away, but that's short proximity, right? You have to be basically glued to your carries to be able to have that do anything meaningful. Plus, Mordekaiser can kind of ult one person off, but I mean, if Diana hits the ult already, unless you have really good reactions and hit her when she's Eing in, like there's there's nothing you can do. And Grog is a lot easier at peeling. I mean, I guess they could have played other stuff. Like I don't want to. Malphite was banned. I mean, maybe even like Cho'Gath or something like that. I mean, it's just another tank, right? But someone that can do a little bit more peeling for your team. But again, that Mordekaiser is going to give them some sideline pressure. Hopefully, the Victor takes TP, unlike the last one, and they can do some 1-3-1ing safely with Ezreal. But I mean, again, with Diana Yasuo combo, you don't really want to split them up. So 1-3-1ing, I think, is going to be their main focus. I would imagine, at least, right? Because if the Shen and the Kai'Sa get behind, like Shen's not going to be able to match, like you said. Even the Victor, if he plays safe, and are they going to just keep the Kai'Sa in the side lane? Probably not.
Yeah, so ideally, I think for Insomnia, Victor late game with Lich Bane is just shoving minions in off to the side, but he's not really stepping up because he doesn't want to contest Yasuo in a long lane, but he's trapping Yasuo somewhere, whereas Mordekaiser is shoving into a turret and your other 3 are sitting safely in mid.
Okay, Victor's living today just to make me sad. We see Phase Rush and no Corrupting Pot start. Yasuo starting Doran's Shield though, at least, so that's one part of the matchup that we didn't see last time that I like more. Exhaust Ignite bot lane again for Xflow, so that's another blue side kill lane that they're going to go for here, so I'm guessing that early aggression is what we're going to see. Standard 5-point for everyone. I do like Thresh in that bush though. You think he's going to try to push up a little bit and they're just going to try to bush cheese early, or what?
I think in pro play, oftentimes they're sending 3 people down bot to early ward that forward bush and trying to get pressure there, or maybe a pick to sneak around the wall or something like that. So I think that's really what he was looking out for, because the rest of his team is just not in any sort of position to do any cheese down there.
Yeah, and we're seeing a ward backing for Sweeper early, probably just going to be checking for the bush camping Alistair here, the cow eating grass in the bush, as we see Shen just going for an auto attack. I guess early dominance, Grass definitely wasn't able to proc there, but I like that. I get the mental edge already.
Put that bone plating on cooldown so you can just instantly fight as soon as the minions meet.
Yep, mirrored starts for each jungler, so we're probably not going to see any early interaction between them at Crabs. Of course, Crab being nerfed a long time ago to not be as important early game. I still like giving them some love, though. Scuttle Crabs are great, so...
Yeah, and I think there's going to be 2 points of early, interest that might happen unless some crazy stuff happens top lane with the taunt. But it'll be the race to level 2 in bot lane, and then the scuttle if the 2 junglers decide to fight over it.
Yeah, for sure, and I think just anything full clearing would be a good thing for this Diana. Again, sadly, your champion doesn't really do that much until she hits level 6, so I'd love to see a full clear into maybe bot crab if you get the chance, and then a reset. Xin Zhao, though, can fight, I mean, as early as level 2, honestly, so he might do a full clear into top. Looks like Mordekaiser's passive is going to be shoving this wave out. I would really hope he gets it pushed back. It looks like he had it pushing towards him there. Love to see some wave manipulation coming out in the top lane this game with Mordekaiser having the knowledge that he can't, Shen can't fight him, right? So.
Yeah, and it'd be really interesting to see because they know they have jungle pressure and it's not coordinated very much in this elo because it is rather difficult to pull off. But a big wave crash into a dive on the Shen as soon as Xin finishes clearing this top side would like basically make this such an easy game for Insomnia.
Yeah, diving a Shen is scary though. The taunt, Grasswap being able to get that health back, his Q with the shields, and his passive plus the auto attack, canceling field on his W. Like, it's one of the scariest champions to dive in my opinion, besides a Tryndamere with R, but it's still definitely doable though, if Mordekaiser gets the poke early.
Yeah, it looks like he just opted to hard shove the Shen in anyway, so don't be seeing any of that soon.
Shen wasted his pod as well already, so it's a rough start for him as he's being shoved under tower. Looks like everywhere else is pretty even for the most part. Yasuo getting a little bit of a CS lead in the mid lane. Kind of surprising to me, honestly. I think the victors should be focusing a lot more on poking out these Win brothers here in the early game.
Yeah, mostly that's an unfortunate sign of... oh, no.
Okay, nothing crazy.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate sign that the victor is not super adept at spacing when you can't zone out a melee and get a CS lead super early as a ranged champion, because you're probably just taking too much caster minion damage to trade effectively, because it looks like Yasuo is still at full health completely, but somehow he's up in CS. Like, he should be punished for getting these last hits.
Yeah, speaking of getting punished, man, it feels bad to be Shen right now as he just keeps getting beat under his own tower. Even without that Xin Zhao pressure, Shen's just in a rough spot right now, down 10 CS. Again, not too important early, he's got a wave crashing, but hopefully he'll be able to farm that well under tower. I do like a little bit of the freeze here coming out from Flo's bot lane. Again, the early aggression that we thought was going to happen with the level 2 rush didn't happen at all. Maybe Kai'Sa starting longsword 3 pots is the reason for that. I'm not 100% sure. This is just to do her like AP rush build, right, though?
Yeah, and they did try to do a level 2 rush up, but Insomnia's bot lane saw it coming, backed up almost all the way to the turret, and Xflow just ended up sweeping a ward for getting level 2 early. That was all their advantage that they got.
Hey, 10 gold though, right? So that's good.
A win's a win.
And again, we're okay. I like this early. Xin Zhao recognizing he had pressure in bot lane and mid was under tower. He's taking the early Drake. No pings coming out for the side of Xfil on it. They don't have any sort of vision on the map right now besides a ward in the river. And I think this might be an early Drake. Oh, we see Yasuo roaming down though. I think just trying to get vision on it. Pinging for assistance. Diana walking down. Could be a little bit of a fight. How much health does this dragon have? 1300. Smites are only at 400 right now. Both of them are up, but it looks like it's a team fight here as we see Alistair jumping onto them. He also getting caught out, exhausted, down by the first blood. Oh my gosh, and the fight's over as fast as it started. A triple kill.
Oh no, it's disaster for Insomnia. Yes, they had the jungle pressure there, but their bot lane is at that very exact moment getting shoved in with a huge wave, so they can't respond. Thresh gets there first, and it just goes so poorly for them.
Yeah, Thresh and Diana getting a kill there. I said triple kill, but I just got confused because Diana did end up taking that dragon. So it was great to be able to recognize your bot lane was a little bit ahead there and do that early Drake rush, but with no vision and getting jumped like that in a 4v1, it's just a tough start for Insomnia as they lose 2 kills and that mountain dragon, and now they're almost trailing by 2,000 gold at 6 minutes.
Yeah, that is one thing that about the Diana Yasuo combo, which they didn't even have ults yet for that. But both characters, when they go in, so much of their combo is front loaded. The burst happens instantly. So if you're not perfectly in position, they will turn a team fight just like that. And they were not ready for it when the Diana went in.
Yeah, and as we see here, might be seeing some Xin Zhao ganking. Not sure what Shen's going to be able to do. He is in the death realm right now, getting chunked down. Xin Zhao getting ready to fight on top of him here. Auto attack field being blocked up. Looks like thought they were going to try to tower dive, but Zinjao takes the tower shot, says, ouch, that hurts, we're not going to try it. We got an ult burned from Mordekaiser, and we get a flash from the Shen, though, so that's good, right? It's not all for nothing. But
Yeah,
Zinjao wasting time.
Yeah, the Mordekaiser timed the pull really well there to cancel out Shen's taunt to try and escape, but unfortunately he just was barely close enough to the turret to really turn that away, but they might... No, Diana's there to cover
The
any
bait?
dive.
She is level 5, no dive's going to be happening here. Hope she does leave and doesn't soak all this experience. Your Shen's already really far behind. It looks like she's me in the jungle and takes every single minion from their laners. Never mind, I love this Diana. I really hope that Expo wins this game now.
Shen even had TP. That's a feels bad moment.
Yeah. Sometimes it has to happen, you know. Especially when you're a jungle carry, you're like, I'm up, you're already behind, give me this gold I carry, right? As we see, the Thresh roaming to help take blue buff. That's the second support roam pre-level 6 we've seen in these 2 games, where they're roaming up to help their junglers clear. I need to get Goon Spanks on this right now.
Actually, I think this is a really intelligent macro call from Xflow. They noted they got the dragon off of a steal, essentially, and they know Herald's coming up right now and that their 2v2 has pressure, so they got Shen out of the losing lane with this little fight.
Yep, little fight here. Alistar doing Alistar things, knocking him back in. It looks like he's just stuck, stunned under the Victor. Oh, the Shen ult coming in, the Yasuo Diana combo, one-shotting onto the Alistar, but one-shot isn't really a thing as the Alistar just pops out. He doesn't even have ultimate. Zinjao going in too far again. Just trying to 1v4, getting caught out. Victor's out of mana. All he can do is auto attack, and that's another kill for the Diana. Now she has a bounty, and I think that's a Herald.
Yeah, and this is all off of the back of the smart macro that I was starting to describe before, where they rotate their bot lane up for this Herald and their Shen bottom. And because Shen was bottom and Mord didn't match, instead he TP'd top, Ezreal can't interrupt that Shen ult. So instead of what should have been a trade 1-for-1 on Yasuo, who almost died there, was a huge win for Xflow.
Yeah, and I agree with you saying them switching out the lane, get the Shen into a lane he can do a little bit more with. Sure, he's still behind, but he won't be able to get punished as much. And I'm really wanting to see Insomnia Gaming switch the lanes out. We do see them doing that right now, actually. Perfect timing. Mordekaiser walking back bot lane. But, I mean, the damage is already done. Xflow got the Herald, so the matchup again goes back to being bad for the Shen. But does it really matter if you're up, 2k gold at this point with a Herald still being able to be used before plates despawn?
Yeah, I mean, it is risky, but it kind of played into how we thought the game would go in Champ Select, where the Mord was really going to be the strong pivot point for Insomnia. And he still has pressure in the side lane, but Xflow is just rotating every time there's an objective. We took Herald, we got the kill, we're swapping our bot lane back, and Insomnia keeps being one step behind on these lane matchups.
Yeah, and again, speaking of behind, we see Victor almost towards his E-transformation. Cannon's giving you 5. He's probably somewhat close, but behind 20 CS and 3 assists this Yasuo. Yasuo's been roaming this entire game, helping his team out, and Victor's been mostly stuck in lane. He's still down this much farm. Again, in a supposedly winning matchup early game, it's hard to see that coming out early.
Yeah, every once in a while there's just, especially because the Yasuo went Doran's shield early, he gives him pretty good sustain, and it really just seems like the Victor is like, okay, I just give up on trying to interact with this guy, I'm just going to catch the CS. But it's giving Yasuo free push every time and access to the river, and it's really not doing his team any favors.
Yeah, maybe this third game that happens, we'll see a Victor that finally goes Area Corrupting Pot. We'll have to see those. We see Shen just getting 2v1 top lane, Alistar with his ult diving, chunking down Ezreal. Wow, that's a lot of damage, especially without any items finished yet, but that's a kill back. And I wonder if this is going to be kind of a copy and paste of last game, where you have an Ezreal that gets super far ahead, but the rest of the team falls down. Flash for flash, Thresh getting traded his flash for Victor. They trade ults too, why not? Just throw them out there. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good little roam by the support. I think the support's flash and trade for mid laner's flash is always worth.
Oh, for sure.
Even during all of that, Xflow got another dragon off to the side, so they're taking wins everywhere.
Yeah, and especially with, Drake coming up here relatively soon. I can't see, because it looks like our stream's a little bit bugged right now on my end, but it's, what is that, a Cloud Soul? Okay.
Yeah, they just took...
Yeah, okay, I see it now. I see it now. We're back. I can see it now. Okay, 4 minutes left. Nowhere close. My bad. But Cloud Soul, kind of boring.
I mean, decent for Insomnia if they can actually manage to get some of these dragons back, because they're struggling so hard to match the rotations of X-Flow. If they have some more out of combat movement speed, it can maybe make up for whether it's a shot calling deficiency or just not knowing and not expecting where the enemy team's going to move their Shen.
True, and if they keep giving up Drakes like they have been, X-Flow is just going to be 2 steps ahead of them instead of 1 step ahead of them, as we see more trading going out, Mordekaiser passive being popped. That's almost it's going to be a 40 CS lead now for the side of Insomnia's top laner in this Mordekaiser's. We see a little bit of trading going on. Thresh showing the hook, hitting the Alistar. Perfect prediction, knowing he backs up there. Alistar ulting, getting a double knockup. Ezreal just trading out. Not a whole lot happening right now. Just a little bit of trading back and forth. Support's taking some health bars, getting a ignite down from the Thresh. But I think it's a good trade for Insomnia though, especially with you being behind right now. Anything you can get from that kill lane is good, as we see maybe a little bit of a dive happening. Xin Zhao missing the Wind Becomes Lightning here. Another plate going down for the Ezreal, and that's just going to be all that stuff for 1 plate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little more bloodthirsty in the bot lane, but I thought it looked like there was an opportunity that Alistar could have headbutted them in. There might be a fight mid lane.
Yeah, Yasuo wind wall, Victor ulting, I guess just getting the Diana out of there. I definitely want to see blood too from that bot lane. I think they could have had it for sure.
Yeah, especially because Ezreal had stacked his Conqueror at that point, and I think Thresh at that low health, if he'd gotten headbutt back instead of out, they definitely get a kill there. But Alistar might have just been a little bit worried because of how much burst he took.
And maybe the flay that was hit on him after the hook could have had some sort of impact with his pathing there, but again, he didn't die. So that's the main thing, right? As we see Exhaust almost coming back up, and it's another plate for this Ezreal. That's great that he's getting this gold. Would love to see the Alistar backing off and letting him get these plates by himself, because I feel like right now, again, we're putting all the eggs into the Ezreal basket. You want to get him as much gold as possible, and it looks like they're just going to get this tower. Oh, just kidding. Fight for the first tower going out. Oh, just a second too late. The Diana Yasuo combo making this Victor hate himself as we see that kill trade being down. So tower trade and a kill on the side of X-Flow. It's another kill for this Diana as the Nashor's Tooth Rush. Okay.
Yeah, so remember how I said that combo is front loaded? It didn't even matter that he was standing under his turret. They just both hit their R immediately, and Victor is essentially 100 to 0. He had like 1 or 0.5 seconds on the ground before he died, so not really any way to react other than put an E to get the minions afterwards. But they take 2 turret shots for their trouble and get first turret.
Yeah, very well played. Again, this combo proving that it doesn't matter what you pick into it, as long as they can hit their ults and all their abilities. It should be a pretty free laning phase for the Yasuo, and it looks like it has been, even though, again, with that Victor being a little bit of a rough matchup early. We see, I'm not a huge fan of Nashor's Tooth Rush on Diana, just because I don't think you need the attack speed. Just like Gwen, right? You don't need the attack speed because it's built into your kit. For Diana, it's her passive. I guess when she is this far ahead, it's just even better, right? For just fighting. But I like it's not Rocket Belt anymore. I don't remember what it's called.
I think it is Rocket Belt, or it was Proto Belt before, but one of those.
Oh, now it's Rocket Belt.
Yeah. But in general, I agree with you. I think the Nashor's Tooth is the greedy. I'm not even going to worry about skill shots. I'm just going to point-click EU and then auto-attack you to death because I'm so far ahead. But the Rocket Belt plus Hourglass second, I think, is the much more consistent option.
Yeah, especially for being able to get those ults off faster. As we see a little bit of trading, actually Shen favored, I would say, in that matchup, coming out with a little bit more hit points. But we do have the mythics for both, as we see, oh my gosh, Diana Yasuo going crazy. Xin Zhao getting a 3-man ult, knocking them towards this team. Diana ult being wasted, but Yasuo ult not being pressed. Wanted to make sure it was up. It is up right now. Maybe it wasn't up when he threw it. I'm not 100% sure. Both TPs coming out for either team here. But I don't think anything's going to happen. It should just be disengaged here. Looks like a jungle trade. The kill going on to the Ezreal, which I love here. And it looks like, oh man, look at that. Diana getting another kill, going to 4-1-1. The shutdown goal going to the Ezreal is great. Looks like they're going to be trading this first dragon for Insomnia for the Herald, though I love the reaction for X-Flow. We got low health bars. We're not able to contest you for Drake, but we're going to go get something on the other side of the map.
Yeah, that was such an interesting fight there in the river. I want to say I like Insomnia, or I think it was Insomnia favored overall, but I do think they should not have teleported the Mordekaiser. The fight was obviously over, and if Mordekaiser stayed up top, they could have just got that outer turret for free. But at least they get the dragon.
Yeah, and I think he was just doing it in reaction to the Shen. I'm not sure who exactly pressed the button first because I wasn't looking on the minimap like I should have been, but I agree with you. I think you just keep him there and then just try to get the Shen to not teleport. Because, I mean, the fight's already won at that point for you. Or I would say the fight's won because your Ezreal got a kill. Again, the Xin Zhao being 0-3 right now, down 30 CS, and a level, I'm going to guess almost 2 levels when Diana takes these camps here is just... It's like we were saying early, right? Xin Zhao is the one that does a little bit less when he's behind.
Yeah, at this point, he's like a pretend Alistar almost. He's just going to not give up much threat, but he'll be really tanky if he can keep people outside of his ult zone, and then as soon as the ult zone dies, he will also die. So honestly, I think he probably should just lean into that and be like a stall bot, like maybe even GA second, Sterex maybe instead, if you really don't want to get that item, but though it is cheap and he's going to be on a lower econ right now. Like really, it's just we're trying to use Xin as bait and let Ezreal and Victor free hit while he dies. That's the goal right now.
This sounds like a Xin Zhao strategy I can get behind because I love being able to run in and not get punished for it and my team being able to do well. So I'll definitely have to try to implement that maybe in week 2. We'll have to see. But a little bit of vision trading here. A lot of deep wards for X-Flow. We've been seeing this game. Not really any on the map right now, but they've been getting good vision. Speaking of good vision, look at that pink wall they have. As one of them just gets replaced by the Alistair there, but they have a lot of defensive pinks on the side of Insomnia, which is good, right? Because you want to see everyone having pinks on the map, vision scores being up. Of course, I say that in Israel's vision scores too, but that's also his kills, so, you know, maximum Hopium here. Speaking of Hopium, Victor dashing out, Phase Rush actually saving him, again, proving why I don't know nothing in areas of bad call. Phase Rush with the flash, getting him out, and, I mean, it's a flash, again, flash for flash. But Shen and Thresh flash for just this Victor now, so I guess that's worth, right?
Yeah, it's a little more value than the last time, especially if Mordekaiser can find himself in a lane with Shen again without his flash, and Mordekaiser does have it. That's a lot of pressure on that sideline.
Yeah, and we're seeing something that I didn't think we'd see. We have Yasuo matching Mordekaiser on the split. He's just sitting in a bush right now. I'm wondering how this fight's going to go. Do you Death Realm him immediately, or do you try to cancel out the Tornado? It looks like the Tornado not being able to be canceled out. Flash coming out for both characters. In the Death Realm, again, you lose your resistances in the Shadow Realm, and speaking of resistances, you can't resist anything if you're dead. Speaking of being dead, Xin Zhao jumping in, forcing the Lantern out from the Kai'Sa. The rehook, Glacial Augment being huge here. No damage coming out from their side at all. The Hourglass, or I guess the Stopwatch from the Victor does not matter. Diana shows up, and with this Naturalist 2, she will literally just stand there and auto you to death. Shen getting the kill. Looks like it's going to be another one. Please give this. Okay, you take it anyway. That's fine. Kai'Sa was dead, so you can't really give it to anyone besides the Shen. 6, 1, and 2 for this Diana. Another bounty goes up, and speaking of going up, it looks like they're about to go up another tower. Top lane tower going down.
I love the bot lane fight in favor of the Mordekaiser. He just destroyed the Yasuo, because, you know, if you buy Ninjatabi, you're immediately a tanky monster. But why did they engage 3v3 top lane without their Ezreal? He's the only strong member of the other 4. Fighting without him is not a good idea.
Yeah, especially with a Victor that just has Ludens and Sword Shoes. I don't think he had the Amp Tome, or not the Amp Tome, the Fiendish Codex yet, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a really rough fight. You don't have that damage, right? And I think they're just overestimating Victor damage early. What I'm guessing at this point, he probably only... Well, he'll have 2 upgrades, so EQ upgrade. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a rough fight. I'm not sure if they meant to take it, or maybe it was just that Thresh hook being able to set it all up, but... Again, that's tough, and you got 30 seconds on this Cloud Drake, and Victor's top lane, he does have TP. You got Ezreal coming down to catch mid, but it looks like it's going to be another 5v5 fight. I mean, I think X-Flow just takes this, right? Like, you can't contest, can you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think X-Flow, well, at least unfortunately for Insomnia, they will probably just rush this down. If Insomnia could stall it, they have the TP advantage, which they just expended to try and contest the dragon, so call me a liar. I don't know if that was the best idea, especially because I don't think they're strong enough to teamfight right now, but...
Yeah, Alistair's going to try it anyway, ulting in missing the headbutt, knocking the Thresh back. There we go, okay. Knocks the Yasuo into the Ezreal. That's a really good start for them. I think this is the best fight you're going to get as Insomnia Gaming as a kill goes over to the Mordekaiser, being able to Death Realm out of that fight. Victor getting a kill, which is great for the scaling. Ezreal chasing down Kai'Sa in the top. I don't think you chase too far here. You can let the Thresh get out. You know, this isn't Lucian. You're not trying to get sent it back, but they get the ace anyway, and that's going to be a Drake. And speaking of them not being able to fight, looks like they just get a favored fight anyway. I think we're just underestimating this Ezreal Mordekaiser damage, and Victor playing that really well. Look at that full health bar. So
yeah, I mean, call us a liar. They all had perfect positioning like we said they needed to. Ezreal over the wall, free hitting Yasuo, who got CC'd by Alistar. Diana, the most fed member on the team, just immediately gets ulted by Mordekaiser, and even though he's got Tabby and no magic resist, he still just beats her to death with his mace, takes her stats, and comes out and just rocks the rest of the team fight. So very well played and well positioned by Insomnia there.
yeah, with Riftmaker and Conqueror, he's just being able to heal back. I'm pretty sure Diana ulted in the Death Realm just to try to save herself, and it didn't matter. Yasuo dying without his ult. But then again, how are you going to get it off when Alistar, you know, pulverizes you twice, headbutts you twice, and then stuns you with his E that I can't remember, Trample, I think, maybe? But it's, gosh, that's a scary cow right now if you're a Yasuo.
Yeah, and that was a huge gold swing. Instead of being 2k down, they're, you know, almost 2.5k up at this point. They've got Baron buff, so they should be able to clear at least 2 of these leftover turrets that are outside out of the 3.
Yeah, it's it's just crazy. Like, this game just did literally a full 180 here. Speaking of, oh my gosh, Ezreal just doing so much damage. After those fights, those 2 kills he was able to get with the Baron and the Drake Gold, he does have that Crown of the Shattered Queen. He hit his 3-item power spike. He is here to stay. He's crazy. The ward score is still at 4 though, which want to see that change a little bit, but it looks like they're about to get a tier 2 tower and maybe even an inhib here. Thresh being down, that's a lot of the engage out. And Diana and Yasuo are, again, Yasuo is splitting, gets a tier 1 bot, and Diana's getting your blue, but guys, your blue buff and your towers bot lane don't matter because, hey, look, there goes your inhib.
Yeah, I think they just were resigned that, all right, Thresh got caught, we're gonna lose the inhibitor no matter what, let's try and get something back at least. We'll have to see, you know, over the next 5 minutes if that was too much to give up or try and contest. Mordekaiser being a little bit close, but it doesn't look like they're gonna engage on him. But really, that Thresh getting caught out was a huge unforced error, unfortunately, for Xflow. There's no reason to try and be that forward and ward there. You know they have Baron. They're going to be pushing into you. What are you doing trying to ward their red side jungle? You're not going to ever be up there in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's really rough, too, just seeing this. I mean, I think Alistar is just playing these fights super well. Speaking of fights, here's another one. Shen flash, taunting, hitting nothing. Being able to get rid of the Crown of the Shattered Queen, though, which is good, at least getting Lantern out. But, I mean, this Ezreal is just going crazy right now. No one's able to get on top of him. They're not fighting as a team. Diana, again, dying. They're trying to hit, you know, the Wombo combo on, what, Mordekaiser? That's not doing anything. Speaking of not doing anything, there's another ace, and I think this is just a game quad for the Ezreal, and I mean, it's just like last game, right? It was so close at the beginning, and then it, boom, 25-6. This game, Xflow looked like they had it in the bag, and then boom, Insomnia Gaming.
I'd have to look back at a replay. I really couldn't tell because of all the spell effects, but that was a really narrow choke. Where was the wind wall? Like, Ezreal hit all the damage that entire fight. I feel like not a single thing got wind walled, but maybe I just missed it or, you know, somewhere. But
I figured it out, actually. I figured it out. It was clear skies tonight, no winds, no clouds at all, and I'm not sure if you're Xflow, but I don't think you're sleeping tonight. Insomnia Gaming coming out with that amazing comeback victory, 25 minutes and 45 seconds. What a beautiful game. We will definitely talk about it after a short break.
No, I wasn't ready, you piece of shit. You're not muted, by the way.
We're not quite
Wow.
ready for that short break. I don't know if you guys heard production there, but yeah, it was a really interesting matchup because I think the way we saw the comebacks was superior positioning and better team fighting, but there definitely was better macro on Xflow for, you know, the majority of the game, which earned them that initial gold lead.
You can go to break now.
All right, now we're ready for that short break. My apologies.
like a razor. Murked up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me. I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads. I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, 걸어 들어와. 유행선두자. 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like whoa, 할리우드도 gold. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 나는 내 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss. 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane.
Coming at you loud, real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddest do. I never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddest do. It's crazy.
Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. There for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me come and get out of the way. Back in this lane, back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy.
Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 mad. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
Everybody, panic. Hold on. I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser. Always ready to cry. Da-da-da-da. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
All right, we're back with our interview of the successful jungler. How you feeling after that game?
We feel pretty okay. We found the early a little bit hard because we didn't do what we thought the plan. We didn't follow the plan at first in the early games because we should have played for more late game, and we tried to take early trades when we are less strong early games. But in mid games, I think we are better than the other team.
Yeah, for sure. I think you guys played that mid and late game super well. What do you think you could have changed about that early game? Speaking of early game.
For the first Drake, we were talking about it with my teammates. We were talking we should have crashed the wave bot side and let bot come help me to do Drake, but we were hesitating if they were pushing or putting pressure on the enemy bot lane, and this is what gives the 2 or 3 kills at the dragon.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
And you guys definitely played the later games really well, especially off the strong Mordekaiser, and that was your guys' last pick. Was there a lot of discussion oh, he's going to be able to get a huge lead against this Shen top, or was that sort of the plan going into it was to pick Mord, or?
At first, we were thinking about picking Set, but I was like, wait a minute, if we pick Mord, we can just break the Diana Yezo combo. I think it was one of the bad choice the enemy team did because they pick as the first 2 pick, so we just had an easy time to counter this combo. So.
Yeah, and the Mord played that super well. I know I saw him ult the Diana away a bunch of times, especially on objective fighting, giving you pretty easy smites that game. One last question,
Yes.
and then we'll let you go. Or I guess 2 last questions.
Okay.
First, your Ezreal player.
Yeah.
Do you think after that game, do you think he's going to be getting Ezreal the rest of the season? Because I mean, you played great, but I mean, I think he was the star of the show tonight for sure.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he is a top laner, and he was a sub for tonight.
Oh, okay.
So you may see him or not next week, but I don't think he will be back for the end of this season.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, of course, the last question that we asked at the end of the last game: what is your favorite color?
My favorite color,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that should be like blue indigo.
Okay, I like it. All right, well, hey man, appreciate it. Go back with your team. Great game as always, and we'll see you next week for sure. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Words from the champion there coming out. Great game one here, and it looks like going into the OPGGs for next game we have Blue Phoenix Gaming against Disperse Gaming. And if you guys, any of you were here last season, Disperse made playoffs as a 2 seed in our bracket, and Blue Phoenix Gaming made to the championship and lost to one of our casters, Eric. Very close, best of 5 series, but these are the only two teams that are from last season. So I'm excited to be able to cast this game tonight because these two teams hold a very special place in our heart. Disperse being, in our bracket and being close like we were, and then Blue Phoenix knocking us out of playoffs. So
Yeah, it's some not ideal memories for us, but some good times for them at the very least.
So looking at these OPGGs, which we've looked at plenty of times, which is funny because when we got the links for these, they were ones I had bookmarked still from playoff stuff. So forgot to get rid of that one. Canary, the jungler for Blue Phoenix Gaming, is picking up Hecarim and Viego this season. Of course, last season he was playing a lot of Lee Sin, some Hecarim, but his Lee Sin was definitely really, really clean. So that might be a sleeper pick. And Steve, their ADC, all I see is Ash.
Yeah, he's kind of fulfilling the role our AD carry did last season. Just pick Ash, just be useful, CC someone for your solo laners, and your junglers will carry you. Don't worry about it.
For sure. The other thing I'm seeing is top lane Sejuani with TP Ignite.
I actually
And
really like it. We've
yeah,
been trying it out. Me and our top laner have been duoing whether we run Sejuani, in a solo lane or as support. It actually does way more damage than you would expect, and you get a lot of solo kills, even if your partner, if it's in the bot lane, doesn't have melee attacks to proc the stun faster. Doesn't matter. She'll still clap people.
yeah, and something interesting too I just realized from Blue Phoenix Gaming is their team comp has Canary as the jungler, and then Steve and Water as ADC mains, and Punda and Ariel as support mains. Of course, Punda being the Pike that we saw in playoffs last year. Pike mid only has Pike games in his match history, very similar to what we saw when we played against him and had to ban against that. So we do know he can play at mid if he wants to. Will we be seeing it? Not 100% sure. This man is a little box full of surprises. It looks like he's been playing Silas, and he played Yone last season as well, so I'm not surprised to see that. Silas, Yone, Diana, Pantheon, normal just up-in-your-face fighters. I mean, Pike-style champs, right? So
Yeah, and it definitely seems like they still have a couple of one tricks you usually want to take off the table, which kind of makes, first round 3 bans against them pretty predictable. You're very likely to see Hecarim gone. You're probably going to see the Pike gone. That happened all the time. Even in, playoffs of the last season, they were struggling in that final series, but he got the Pike. They turned it around because his Pike is just that clean. Even if he's falling behind in CS, doesn't matter. This man will make it happen if you give it to him.
yeah, and I think even though Steve is the top laner, even though he has been spamming ADC games, I think Ash might still be a good ban. Again, you hate to see it banned when their ADC plays stuff like Kai'Sa, Jinx, and Senna a lot more. But just because, we don't know where, they could be going. It looks like here, Steve is 100% their top. I'm looking at the roster right now. But, I mean, Ash top is something I've seen in ranked games. It's been played in competitive as well. Like LCS, all that stuff. Is this something you want to see tonight?
Absolutely not. If you don't ban Ash, let this guy have Ash top if that's going to be a thing, and then just send your jungler and clap him a few times, and then your solo lane will roll over him constantly. Like, no, this dude's going to play Sedge top if they let it through. Otherwise, I would go with a ban of Hecarim, Sedge, and Pike, and then see what their top laner plays, because it doesn't look like he plays very much. You got to go a while before you find another champ.
Yeah, or maybe just do Hecarim Viego Pike, get rid of his most played and ranked, and then shove him on a Diana that it looks like he played once in his past 10 games, and it wasn't the best. Of course, this guy is, best of me in our best of 3 and is besting me in the ranked season so far this year. But anyway, we got our picks and bans that we want to see. Oh, wait, we'll do picks first for this team real quick because we got a little bit more time than normal for this draft. So if you are the side of Blue Phoenix Gaming, and it looks like if you are Blue Phoenix Gaming, you are on blue side. So convenient Blue Phoenix, not red Blue Phoenix Gaming. What are you first picking here? Do you think you take the Sedge if it's open? I would say this guy is strong enough in jungle to where you could probably just take the Hecarim or Viego if it's left. But
Yeah, I think I would prio the Sedge if they leave it open, especially because, if the other team disperses not on their game and doing their scouting or even just listening to us right now, they might assume it's jungle. And even if the dude doesn't play that much Sejuani jungle, it's not hard. So they could
yeah.
still flex it if they need to late game. So Sejuani, I think, is really valuable for them.
Yeah, and I think because you're not really going to know what to ban out from their mid laner, I don't think you prioritize mid at all unless Pike is open. I like the Sedge flex. If it's not open, maybe locking something for an ADC you want to take away. It looks like the ADC for DG likes to play Jinx as well, so if it's left open, I think you could probably just first pick Jinx and then finish it off with a jungle champion and a support for the first 3. That's at least my opinion. What do you think about that before we switch over to GG real quick?
I think I would wait on my AD carry until second and third. And I might even leave them. I might even leave the AD carry until second rotation entirely because it looks like your bot lane has the biggest champ pool out of your entire team. So you might want to cover one of your smaller champ pool lanes by picking them early so they don't have to go through a second round of bans.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Looking at DGs. Okay. Looks like the timer is a little bit off. Draft is starting. Quick touching on DG real quick. A lot of Jinx, like we said. Also, new champion Zeri being played. Their jungler Udyr does like playing a lot of the stuff that I play, but it looks like we're going in here. Speaking of Zeri being someone they play, they will not be playing it this game and probably not in any game this season because that character is super strong and it is taken away. Hecarim being banned for Disperse. Nocturne out of Udyr's champion pool. Yeah.
Hecarim, Sejuani, and Pike. Let me see it.
Pike. Or if you don't do Sejuani, you ban Viego.
Yep.
Hey,
Viego.
good. Those champions pretty much destroy any of the jungle pool for Disperse Gaming. I know that because, like I said, we play similar stuff. Okay, you're not locking it yet, though. Just lock it. Yes, good.
They want the maximum time to talk about this Pike ban.
Trundle, played by their jungler and their support, could be a flex pick. I like getting rid of it, especially if you're playing a tank top or a tank jumble. Trundle good into Sejuani, right? So,
yep.
Final ban here, Pike, right? Pike.
It's gotta be.
You leave it open, they'll just first pick it probably. And I would love to see it. So, yep. Well,
yeah, it's
of course
literally
they're going to hover
dangerous.
it. No, they're going to hover it. Okay. So we got 3 for 3 on those bans. If we would have had a little bit more time, maybe we could have got 3 for 3 for Blue Phoenixes as well. First picking Kai'Sa, just like I said, you take away an ADC from Disperse's pool, but you're leaving open Jinx. Does Kai'Sa beat Jinx? You know more about bot lane than I do.
It's hard if there's any other divers on the enemy team because generally speaking, Kai'Sa will take exhaust. Kai'Sa goes in with a diver, you exhaust the Jinx, and she has no hope in whatever 2v2 or 2v1 that happens to be. It doesn't even matter what the other diver is. Just any other champion plus Kai'Sa and exhaust, she's gonna die.
Ooh, Zyra Khan maybe? Rakan is the most played support for Disperse support as I looked in the OPGGs. Ooh, just do Zyra Khan. Let's see it. I mean, they'll probably just do the Jinx because it's better. Or even Ezreal, because, like, you play the safe lane against the dive bot lane. or maybe they just leave it open to get more picks. Probably not a bad. Like you said, Disperse's ADC champ pool is really big. So Xin Zhao blind. Not the
Another
biggest
Diana
fan.
Yasuo combo.
Okay, why not, right? And it looks like Blue Phoenix might just be taking the draft from IWB here because it just they got the same 3 champions. So if they finish it off with what, Thresh, and what was the other one? I can't remember. Shen.
Thresh and
Thresh
Shen.
Shen. Yeah, let's see a Thresh Shen. Let's just see it. Be like, this comp's great. We love it. We're gonna win with it.
Even
Final
though it
pick
just
here.
lost.
Yeah, final pick here. I think you just grab your ADC, like I was saying earlier, but got cut off by them locking Xin Zhao. Ezreal, Rakan, great lane, because as long as Ezreal doesn't die in lane, you get a Rakan out of lane, and Rakan is super strong if you can play him well, especially into this team.
Yeah, Rakan has a lot of power here to, disrupt the Yasuo Diana combo. The damage will still go off, but Yasuo won't be able to win wall any counter attack if he's charmed up and knocked up. He's likely to only get, just the ulti damage off, and then everyone else can just beat him down. But
Sejuani.
yeah, there's a Sejuani ban.
They're hovering it. It's not official yet. I would love to see if they're going to get rid of the Sejuani. I want them to get rid of Thresh too, just for the lane matchup, because Thresh can just basically eliminate everything Rakan tries to do. If you're decided Blue Phoenix Gaming, you're probably just banning out mid laners here because your mid laner, it's not necessarily his main role for what we're seeing. So getting that little bit of a cushion, love to see it. Cassiopeia banned. Morgana could be Thresh. Morgana's still good though. To get rid of. Black Shield is disgusting. So, like seeing it off the map, I hate that character so much.
I kind of want for Blue Phoenix a Leona Malphite pick here. Malphite for just an extra team fight knock up for Yasuo in case either Diana falls behind or something like that. Plus, it's great engage and a tank on your team. And then Leona is historically a very good pick into Rakan because your E will follow him when he goes back to shield the AD carry, and it's a free delivery system every time.
Yeah, plus, I think you definitely want an engaged support for Blue Phoenix as well as a tanky top that can do stuff because we saw the Shen being the weak link in the last game. So what can you throw in there instead? And if we get a Thresh, you literally have the same team comp, and what can you put in there instead, right? Malphite might be too crazy on the Yasuo. Okay. So we see the Zed lock for the mid laner, which means we're probably going to see an AP top, hopefully. I think you force the AP top. You lock 2 super tanks. Go like Leona Ornn. Or you hover Aurelion Soul to
They
make.
talked about this in chat. It's a troll hover.
They're just doing it for
Yeah.
Eric.
Shout out to Yori with the Malzahar hover.
Yeah, shout out to Eric with the the
Okay,
Aurelion Soul hover. Nautilus, like it.
Leona. Yeah.
Better. Actually has knockups. Really good. Point and click, easy to do, right? Press R comp. Just like Sizzle loved to talk about last season. You press R, and if your press R is better than their press R, you win. Ornn or Malphite here, I think. You're already committing the Nautilus to it. Go Ornn, Malphite, one of the two.
That's what I would like to see as well. I don't think they need more damage with the 3 cores that they have already.
No, and you just stack armor on no matter who you go. No. Okay.
Okay, but
Yeah, engage. Tank has a knockup technically with his ultimate.
he's also a little bit safer to blind pick and do a top lane matchup. But honestly, they have Ezreal, which does like mixed damage, decent amount of AD. Zed that does AD. Zin that does AD. Malphite would have been crazy there.
Yeah, I think you just pick a top laner knowing you're going to be weak side here. I don't think you care about getting countered too much, as long as you ward up early and just let your Diana Yasuo do what they do in Kai'Sa scale. Vlad, okay. I should have said it, man. Every time I don't say something, it happens. So I want to sound smart sometimes. And Vlad, I was saying that's the one AP champion you can pick here, that I would love to see coming from the top laner because the overall damage and the just great team fighting you can do with Vladimir. I mean, they got to go in comp, right? They have a Xin Zhao on the side of the team that's playing against the Diana Yasuo again, but you have Engage with them this time. You have Rakan going in, Vladimir that I'm guessing is going to go either TP Ghost, Ignite. I like Ignite Ghost on Vladimir top. Probably able to see Ghost Flash, though, just to play safe into Gnar with the ult. But, I love seeing the Ghost possibilities for the Vlad being able to stick on to them. Who do you think won this draft?
I think it's a similar situation to the last game, actually, funnily enough, where the enemy team early picked Yasuo and Diana, and so the opposite end was the response, let's split push then. because like Vlad is gonna outscale Gnar, gonna always have the pressure in the side lane. He also has a decent matchup in the Yasuo if it gets to late game. Zed also doesn't exactly want a 5v5. He's gonna pull Yasuo away, so it's another 1-3-1 ideally from Disperse Gaming. And then Blue Phoenix really wants to go in, which they have a little bit better engaged than the Thresh comp because Nautilus can literally just point click RU to start a fight on the 3 that are trying to defend. But Rakan is also a little bit better disengaged than the support from last game on the other side. So it's really hard for me to call. I think Disperse has good answers to what Blue Phoenix wants to do.
Yeah, and I didn't like the Gnar when he locked it, but I do like the Gnar for that engage as well as the disengage that his ult can do. Being able to peel off Vladimir is hard, especially with Xin Zhao as well, but having your W when you're transformed, the slowing with your Q to be able to kite back more, there's a chance, even though I think, again, this is going to be a mid lane, bot lane focused game. I think top's going to be an island this game. Diana's not really going to probably try to gank a Vladimir. That sounds awful. Because all you do is you go up there and you're like, I'm gonna hit you with the moon, and he's like, I'm gonna make a pool real quick, and then he just goes away.
Go
So
for a swim.
yeah, I'm gonna go for a swim. Yeah.
The mid lane matchup is really going to be key here early because it's two melee junglers. If there's gonna be fighting, people will die, and both of those mid laners can snowball really hard off of some early kills and totally warp the game. But it's also going to be difficult in the late game because the 3 for Disperse, unlike the last one, the support, if he got caught out, Alistar ult, and your Yasuo Diana combo doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't matter. I survive when we walk out. If Rakan gets caught with this, he's instantly dead, and there's no help for him at all.
But I don't. Yeah, and I think the grouping from Disperse is going to be less here, right? Because I'm looking at like Zed and Vlad aren't going to be on top of an Ezreal or Khan, right? Because they're going to be doing their own thing on the side. Xin Zhao's probably going to maybe be protecting the Ezreal a little bit, but as soon as he hits a Wind Becomes Lightning, his W, he's just going to go crazy probably. So Diana Yasuo, in theory, because of how spaced these people are going to be playing and flanks they're going to be looking for these fights, should never hit more than the 3-man ult combo. Even then, that's hard because you have the dash on the Ezreal and the Rakan, so they shouldn't be hitting more than 2-man ults. And if they are, I think Disperse is just playing too clumped. But again, maybe if they're fighting under tower or something like that, it's different. But I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting too much.
No, I think the game plan for Blue Phoenix on the 3 is you engage on Rakan and Xin, you kill those 2, and Ezreal has to give up whatever objective you're about to take because he's alone now. I think that's generally what they should try. But we've talked about both these comps a lot. Important thing that we didn't touch on last time. What do you feel about skin synergy between Yasuo and Diana? Because I don't like Blood Moon Yasuo, but Blood Moon Diana is really good. But I'm like, what other 2 skins can you really run with those 2 champs?
I think you just flex how rich you are. You made second place last year, so you got paid. You go prestige skins. Did they synergize? No. But you just show you got money. You know what I mean?
I like it. And all the prestige skins have kind of the same color scheme, so it really you're
there's
just a little
gold,
bit
right?
sparkly. Yeah.
We'll get to the favorite questions I like asking here with 2 minutes left before we load in the game. Blue Phoenix Gaming comp, change one thing about it.
I think
What do you think?
ironically, it makes the lane matchup worse, but I still think I take Malphite over Gnar.
Yeah, same here. Or like Ornn. I like Ornn engage a lot. I think you take any easy. I don't want to use the word easier to land CC, but I think that's the only way I can describe it because I know like if you're a really good Gnar, landing your ult isn't the hardest thing in the world. But I feel like there's situations that you can make more plays as Ornn and Malphite, and it's less expected, right? Gnar, you can see his rage bar going up. You can see when he's about to transform. And then he has to jump off something easy to predict, right? You just don't group up. But with like Ornn, that ult can come out of nowhere and you won't be ready for it. Malphite ult, obviously, way better. So I agree for sure. Top lane for Blue Phoenix. If I'm on a Disperse, I think I'm changing the Xin Zhao to be a tank. Because, again, something I haven't mentioned yet, but Disperse is super squishy. And if you're a Diana Yasuo, you're licking your lips right now because you got pseudo tank Nautilus, main tank Gnar, and you're looking at that team, and the tankiest person is probably going to be Vladimir because of his passive. So
Yeah, and that's really the big difference between their answer of 1-3-1 versus the last game's answer of 1-3-1. Victor is like he had a little bit of pressure on the side lane by pushing the wave, but he wasn't going to fight the Yasuo. Whereas this split pusher is like, no, I want to fight and kill you in a side lane. And so the Zed is like pivotal, but you don't have as much support for the Xin if he gets caught. Like last time, Xin gets caught and Victor puts the gravity field under him, and because Yasuo and Diana just teleported to him, he's gonna get free stuns every time. Like, but this Zin's gonna be on his own.
Yeah. Looks like Chad is saying they got Blue Phoenix favored. I personally bet 3K points on Disperse because I would love to get a 10K payout. I'm probably going to be losing them depending on how the game's played, but I like the underdog odds, right? For sure, I think Disperse was a team last year that kind of went under the radar. 4 teams that made playoffs. I feel like we knew a lot about them just because they were in our bracket, but they definitely weren't talked about at all. So I mean, they definitely, just because I think their draft's a little bit worse off, they definitely still have potential. Uh, Man, I'm just excited. I'm gonna be focusing top lane all game. I want to see this Vlad go crazy. I love Vladimir. He was one of the people when I was trying to learn mid lane for a little bit that I was trying to play more of because I think he's just super strong if you get ahead, and the counterplay into him if he plays lane well early is just it's super hard.
Yeah, and that will be an interesting. Both the solo lanes, honestly, will be super interesting to watch because, like we said, the mid lane can snowball either direction, and the top lane actually has like a total shifting matchup. In the early, Gnar has a fair amount of kill pressure on this Vladimir, honestly, especially if he controls the wave pretty well. But then
Mhm.
once past like level 9ish, the Vlad is just going to be like, all right, I'm going to ignore you now because you're shifting into tank. Probably, I've got my lowest cooldown on my Q, so I'm just healing all the time. So.
Yeah, and I mean, he can just honestly eat a full Gnar combo, 3 stacks, Q, W, and ult, and be like, oh, I'm half health, and oh, I'm back to full health if I press one button. And I still have my ult. So,
Yeah.
I do want to see a lot more coming from the Zed. I guess we're going to touch back onto it since we're not in the draft quite, or into game quite yet. Uh, Talking about characters that don't do well when they're behind, like we did last game. Zed, ooh, I played a lot of Zed in my day, especially in the jungle when he became meta a while back, and did not know what I was doing. Could do nothing. It's rough, man. Especially if it's in the mid lane. In the jungle, I guess you can just clear because of your passive, right? But in the mid, if Zed gets behind, like you know, jumping onto someone as Zed this game is hard because Diana and Yasuo are going to go in, and if you go on either one of that combo, you're going to get hit by the other. Same for Nautilus. Nar's the full tank, and Kai'Sa, I mean, you can press R on her, but as long as someone hits something, she's on the other side of your screen. So
Yeah. Well, that's why I think Disperse is going to look to pull them apart. He wants Yasuo on the side answering him alone, and then they can just 1v1 until the end of time.
yeah, the 1,000-year war or whatever, 100-year war.
Yeah. And that matchup itself is really interesting because it's like Zed has to hold his ulti until Yasuo's third Q, presumably to dodge the knockup if he's playing it really well. And then Yasuo really needs to hold the wind wall to block at least 2 out of the 3 shurikens that are going to be coming at him if Zed's playing the combo right. So it's a really, really skill intensive matchup, which will be really fun to watch.
Nah, we're not going to say any of that. I'd love to see we go into it and then late game 30 minutes in they're just going to be down there auto attacking each other, just like it's like slapping each other down.
Yasuo will probably win that one. He's going to have lethal tempo and crit.
True. I mean, maybe Zed goes lethal tempo crit, right? We can't see runes yet. Who knows?
It's true. Bring back Bork Zed. I always miss that build.
Looks like we are having some technical difficulties right now with the client being able to load in. So while we're waiting on that, I guess we can talk about 2v2 bot lane. I think we have the same answer here to where Nautilus Kai'Sa, just like Thresh, Kai'Sa is favored early because Rakan and Ezreal don't do that much in the early game. But, I mean, even late game, right? We've seen Ezreal's get ahead. They might not necessarily win every game, but we've seen them get ahead, right? So I'm wondering, are we going to see another Ezreal get 2 kills early game and then beg his team not to feed just so he can scale up and, go crazy?
I mean, I hope his team doesn't feed for his sake, but
Mm.
it definitely could because they are favored. But I keep saying about disperses comp this game. They have the tools to do what they need. If they disengage properly, they have more skill expression in their champions, especially because Nautilus is such a binary champion that if you disengage and he uses all his buttons and they aren't in a good position, you punish them on the way out, and you can pick up kills that way.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And man, I'm just looking again. Jungle matchup, Diana Xin Zhao. Again, Xin Zhao favored early. I'd rather be Diana personally because I like being able to do stuff late game. Xin Zhao just again super hard to be able to get everything off. No champion you're going to be able to go in on here. I think you're going to be able to stay on for very long.
One
And
interesting angle I think Blue Phoenix could do too is if Gnar wanted to tech into a split push build. Because if he doesn't go tank after first item, if he goes something like a Bork with some heal debuffs and I can't ever remember the top laner item that does a little slow field around you. If he's got those
the Iceborne Gauntlet, Frostfire Fist, Frostfire Gauntlet.
no, the damage one. It's like a teal color, but iron like the whip, whatever. You know what I'm talking about if you play
Stridebreaker?
top lane. Yeah, Stridebreaker. There you go. But he can run Vlad down in long lanes late game at 2-3 items, even if Vlad is building, his normal build. If Gnar goes the split push build, he has a lot of potential there. But that's only if they want to opt into, 4-1ing the enemy 3.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you'd even go Wits End here, even though it's only really good into one champion, just to be able to get those auto attacks off. I've seen a lot of Nars like doing that sort of Sunder Wits End Rush, but I would like the Bork aspect of it because Bork got buffed this patch, as well as Trinity Force for certain champions, though. But I think the Blade of the Rune King doing the bonus % of health damage is really good into Vlad, right? Because he's going to have a lot of health, so especially as the game gets later on. It looks
Sorry, we have extra technical difficulties, and we're trying to discuss with our production, get everything in order for you guys.
Gotcha. I think we're gonna be doing a little bit of restarting here for some clients. I'm wondering if it's possible for production to take us to a quick break while we try to figure this out. And then we'll try to get it back as soon as we can. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get to the game as soon as possible, all right?
Coming at you live, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break the rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddies do. Never going back, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break the rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddies do.
I'll melt your face off, disappear. I'm your eraser, and the cut just like a razor. Murder business, world my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads. I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, 걸어 들어와. 유행 선두자. 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like whoa, 할리우드도 gold. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, 'cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 말할래, 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss, 간지 with the a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. Live for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me coming, get out of the way. Back in the sleigh, back in the sleigh, back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 night that I hit 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy. Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 mess. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
Everybody, panic. Hold on. I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
I'm a buzzkill, I'm the broken one, I'm a victim of the things you've done. I'm a phantom, fool I thought I was ever sent to. I don't talk about it unless I make a joke about it. That's just what you want, huh? That's just what you want. Walking on the ceiling, getting used to never feeling. You're still having fun, huh? And I don't trust no one. I won't keep your secrets now. You can't keep my volume down. I'm a buzzkill, gonna kill your high 'cause I'm pissed off. I think you know why and you're scared now 'cause receipts don't lie. Ever since you fucked up, haven't made a sound, got me upset. Now I'm getting loud, better watch me burn this whole place down. Ever since you know what you did, don't let it happen again. I pray for the kid that calls you a friend. You pulled them right in, told them their sins. Holy motherfucker, do you have something to say? 'Cause this is the beginning of the price you're gonna pay. I won't keep your secrets now. You can't keep my
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the delay again. League wasn't a production gap this time. It was a league client gap. Everyone getting packet loss, our spectator not being able to even be in the game. So apologies for that. Thank you for all of you that stayed around. And just a quick recap, you guys can see the comps on either side right now. We're still looking at a Diana Yasuo combo for the second time in a row tonight, and the third Ezreal I get to cast with, so that's great. I wonder if he's going to be pressing Q this game and doing damage from a long distance. Again, we were talking about lane matchups and scaling and all that, but I think after sitting on it for a good 5 to 10 minutes while we're waiting, I'm really liking Blue Phoenix's comp. I feel like they took the stuff that we both thought were kind of poor from last draft and switched it around with the Nautilus and the Gnar, even though, again, the Gnar could have been something else. But it's better than Shen, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And
but again,
if they were super like big brain, they might have foreseen the Vlad pick into a Malphite, so they didn't want that matchup because he wants to build armor anyway. So
yeah, true. And again, I just really want to see these solo lanes from Disperse pop off. Last year when we played against them, it was their mid laner that did a lot of carrying. I don't remember if I think it was literally Onset, right? That he got a couple of those early kills. So we got a better mid laner this year though. So
are you sure? Anyway.
But I'm excited. They're a solo lane team. At least they were last year, and the roster has not changed at all. So I'm guessing it'll stay the same. To where we have solo lane focusing, especially from Udyr in the jungle. He is very aggressive early game. I would say around the same tier as I am, to where he likes fighting early. He was really good at prioritizing objectives. Again, Blue Phoenix Gaming with Canary is also really good at objective focus. So that's the thing from these two teams. It's nice to be able to cast over them and be able to give you guys a little bit more insight, because these are the only two teams in this bracket that we've played against before. So super excited to see these guys going up head to head. And honestly, from the reigning second place team, we're hoping to see them stay on the same page they were.
If they can still hear us.
I think we are back here. Looks
Off.
like you can.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Yep. Oh,
Camera slightly off.
hey guys. Hey, it's us. A little
Yeah,
bit of production issues again, but we're down here. Yeah, oh, we're back. Okay,
there we go.
awesome. Again, just waiting for the game to load in here. I'm hoping it's soon. Production, do we know if they're in yet? Okay, gotcha. So it looks like it's having a bit of the same issues as before, where Riot is not letting our spectator and beautiful producer spectate. So we're trying to get that figured out. Hopefully, at least the players aren't suffering from packet loss, like they were before, so the game can still go on.
Yeah, we at least want to get the results in if we can actually stream it to you, and we still have one more game that hopefully goes smoother, so you guys can actually watch it.
I'm just gonna guess right now. I'm gonna guess they're 5-pointing on both sides right now. Beautiful word placed by the Diana here. I'm gonna guess on the top side.
No, actually, they've 5-man invaded through the bot lane. Ezreal was in the shop looking at something that he thought was on sale and didn't pay attention. Nautilus hooked him. Oh, they just flat. He's dead. He's dead.
Rakan got a pentakill as well, probably. So
Yeah, after the
and
Ezreal
he's
died.
going crit. He went Gale Force first item.
It's crazy.
All these things we're just gonna have to guess, because we're getting, as you said, cheese spaghetti coated again by Riot. I mean, they are a small company, so we just have to bear with it here.
It's too bad. I was super hyped up for all these fights, especially because I love playing both of those champions, but I'm so tired of seeing Victor Corky.
Yeah.
And we finally don't have either one of them.
And then they're like, well, you get what you want, but also you don't get a game. So
Feels bad, man.
while we are waiting, though, whenever Spaghetti Code is not here, we do want to thank our, beautiful people that have been supporting our stream, Gamercraft, Community Gaming, and Pro Comps. Really appreciate you guys being able to help us out and keep us going whenever we're not getting messed up by League not wanting to work.
So what is, if we're going back to silly questions but keeping them League related, other than Udyr, your favorite champion?
Fiddlesticks.
Do you play
Fiddlesticks. Okay, I haven't played him like ever since I've known you for a year, but Fiddlesticks has a special spot in my heart. The character was one of the first characters I ever played. First ever pentakill was on Fiddlesticks. I played him a lot when I first started playing the game. What about you? Besides Ezreal and Jhin?
It's got to be Lucian.
Lucian, okay.
Another
Gotcha.
AD carry. If we're going not AD carries, it's like Twisted Fate and Zed.
Yeah, I like Gangplank as well. Obviously, anything Bilgewater related. But if you go outside of that, it's definitely Fiddlesticks. Trying to think. We mentioned already matchups for bot lane. I guess if this was our team, you probably have a better chance of seeing Kai'Sa and Nautilus versus Rakan and Ezreal. But man, I don't know. I'm really hoping we see this game, like you said as well. It sucks that Riot's deciding to mess up this game, which in my opinion was probably the most exciting we would be able to see, just from the team comps being able to fight each other so much.
Yeah, and they're two teams that made deep runs in playoffs, so it would have been pretty hype.
Hopefully, we get any sort of news. Anything production? No. Okay. Do we want to do a quick break again so we can try to figure this out? Yeah, sorry about that again, guys. We're trying to get it figured out still. We'll do a quick break, and we're just going to try to get it figured out. Eric, to answer your question, DG made it to the first round of playoffs and lost to you guys. I feel like you knew that question already. But just in case, you have a little bit of memory lapse, we're going to put that one out. But we'll talk to you guys in a little bit here, hopefully with some better news. So...
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. keep on fighting and we never look back. Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
You have to promise not to tell anyone.
Secrets seem to find a way out the dark all the time. The dirty details that you never want brought to the light. If I tell you mine, then know that I'm walking the line. I can't say too much, I'm facing the edge of a knife. Money is the reason I traded my life. Running now, running, but I cannot hide. Coming for the favor that he knows that I owe. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I'll tell you all its secrets if you don't tell a soul. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I met the fucking devil, now I reap what I sow. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I went looking for the money, but lost track of my soul. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I met the fucking devil, now I reap what I sow. The cost of fame was just a small price to pay at the time. A little favor and the devil would change up my life. But now I'm on the run cause he wants me dead or alive. The fame and fortune got me trapped in a city of lies. Mirror, mirror, sitting up high on the wall. Save me from the devil that's sold in my soul. Coming for the favor that he knows that I owe. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I'll tell you all its secrets if you don't tell a soul. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I met the fucking devil, now I reap what I sow. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I went looking for the money, but lost track of my soul. Eldorado is the city of gold, and I met the fucking devil, now I reap what I sow.
Like a phoenix, I am flying and rising from the ashes as many times as it takes. In a world so dark, I'll be the flame. This world will laugh while beating you down. Well, I'm sick and tired of the cold ground. There's gotta be more than just this. I'll find my way, yeah, bet on it. Thought I had to fight this world on my own, but you came along, banished that lie. You were my light.
Yeah. Yeah, as a boy, always knew I one day had the courage to be king. Yeah, time flew when I grew up. Now I'm ready for the promise that it brings. You only wanted me to screw up, but it's something that you're never gonna see. And everything that you hope for, yeah, it was only in a dream. Yeah, now I go on a roll, and I know that I'm never breaking down. I control all the flow on my soul, put a sword that's sewn in the ground. She always said it would be someday, seeing castles in the clouds. One way or another, when I step in the room, everybody better bow. So be careful how you talk to me, 'cause there's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough room for us both on the throne. It's about to go down, so you better start running, so you better start running, let's go. So you better start running, because I'm coming right now, because I'm coming right now. Huddle masses talking whispers, situation getting tenser. You should probably pay attention. Boy, you know I'm born to win it. Ever since I had the vision, when I speak, my people listen. We could start a new tradition. All the children, men and women, right now, gather around and burn it down. We're gonna start the kingdom from scratch. Far too many take advantage, but it ain't gonna happen like that. Time and time again, I wake up and enemies might attack. But all that matters, in my opinion, is that the dynasty lasts. So be careful how you talk to me, 'cause there's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough room for us both on the throne. It's about to go down, so you better start running, so you better start running, so you better start running, because I'm coming right now, because I'm coming right now. King, and there's only one crown, and there's only one king, and it's looking like me. So you better start running, so you better start running, yeah. So you better start running, come on, come on. So you better start, so you better start, 'cause there's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough room for us both on the throne. It's about to go down, so you better start running, so you better start running, so you better start running, 'cause I'm coming right now, 'cause I'm coming right now, coming right now, coming right now, coming right, because I'm coming right now.
This fire in my head's got me on edge. I'm going out tonight. Faded on a thread. Don't know what's next. I wanna feel alive. I kissed a stranger in a white dress. She put a crown on top of my head. Said every king needs a queen in his bed. I said, hey girl, I'd like to stay here for a while, just you and I. Far from the places we can't get away from. She said, hey boy, I like your style. I'll let you play me for a while. Play me till the sun rises. Play me like a violin.
Alright guys, sorry about that again. We are going to be taking a quick break from the stream to be able to have our production restart as full computer. The client was already repaired, Again, I don't think this is his computer problem. I think it's just a mess up with the client. But the game is currently going on, if I was told correctly. And so, if worst case scenario, the stream will be offline, and then we will come back on and go over the game with the post-game results screen. That is a worst case scenario. We're hoping with a full computer reset and another League client repair that it can get fixed. But again, if it's not, we will make sure and let you guys know what happened. We will get the game for sure, and hopefully if one of the players are recording it, we can at least have it posted on the channel for everyone's viewing pleasure. Sorry about that again. Okay. Yeah, it is. So you said it's a spec issue then? It's like
Yeah.
a Riot. Yeah.
Seems like
So
the Riot client spec issue that's just affecting all tournament organizers right now and probably just messing up a bunch of streams, unfortunately. So
again, guys, we
All right,
apologize for
so
everything.
huge shout out to Time to Light. Sorry, I'm just gonna take over the stream for a second. So this is Matt. Time to Light is the producer at Radiant Strike as well. So it seems like it's spectator issues completely across the board. So unfortunately, I don't think a computer restart will help us at this point, as it seems just spectators completely down. I think what I'm going to plan to do over the next few days, we're going to let you know, we're going to get the replays for you, and we'll get maybe Mike and Chris, or maybe Yori and Eric to recast the games so that you're able to at least see them. It'll be on a different night, but we'll keep you updated in our Discord server. But because it's a Riot spectator issue at this point, I believe we're just going to end the stream for tonight. And like I said, we'll pull the replays, we'll cast them as if they're live for you so that you're able to see the gameplay, and we'll make sure that the teams give you absolutely no spoilers, including game results posted for the captains in the captains chat. But until then, I'll give it back to Chris and Mike to sign us out, but it looks like that's going to be the end for tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm definitely willing to at least commentate this game because, I mean, we were so excited for it. We talked about it for like 1,000 hours, and we weren't able to get it. So I think you'll definitely be able to get us commentating this game, this matchup, this second Diana Yasuo combo in a row. I'm excited for it whenever we get the chance. Again, apologies, guys. Anything you want to say, Chris, before we head out?
no, just check back whether it's in the Twitch VODs or even the YouTube channel if it gets uploaded there. Come back in a day or two. We'll have you guys all set up.
And again, signing us off here, shout out to Gamercraft, Community Gaming, and ProComps for sponsoring. Shout out to Radiant Strike for coming in and verifying the spectator bug for us. Again, we do have games Thursday for our bracket. And again, keep posted on the socials, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for sticking around so long.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming